Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast number 16, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Today, we're talking about episode 3.4, Every Man for Himself. Because sometimes men are on their own, and sometimes Kate's there to help you.
Oh.
Yes. That was a horrible intro. So, this episode marked, how should I say, a good episode this season. After last week's abysmal failure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this episode had, it's not Tale of Two Cities, it's not Maternity Leave, it's not any of those big, great episodes, but
yeah,
definitely has a couple interesting things, and we're getting closer to figuring out what's going on, why the others are holding Jack, Kate, and Sawyer.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't as good as the premiere. Maybe on par with Glass Ballerina. I think it's clear that the other story is the interesting story this season.
Definitely.
And that Locke stuff just wasn't working.
No.
Because, even the couple of scenes they had on the beach in this episode were just whatever. They just seem sort of lifeless, and I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to introduce those two new characters,
yeah.
And so, we got that new guy, Brazilian guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just seems, I'm like, for a new character, they're obviously writing him as if he's been on the island this whole time, because that makes sense. It's the only way to do it. But I feel like he's still the new guy, and the way he's so bitchy to Desmond this episode, I'm like, hey man, you're the new guy. Where do you get off getting an attitude? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really weird. I'm like, man, you want people to like you? You need to be nice to the people we like, right. AKA Desmond.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Desmond's been here a while, bitch.
Exactly. He's put in his time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was very bitchy, and he had that line about, oh, you're gonna go off and die in the jungle or whatever, and
yeah, that was really weird.
It made it seem like, I guess, realistic that he's just been in the background. They're all talking about, God, all those guys who we think of as regulars, they're always off doing stuff and dying and getting in dangerous situations.
Yeah, well, I thought he was specifically referencing Desmond, but I guess he just meant in general that's what they do. They just go off in the jungle and die.
That's the sense I got. Does he know? I really don't know how much they're supposed to know about what's going on.
I think we're supposed to believe they know as much as any major character knows. Because, they've made it clear that the information travels pretty fast in that group.
Yeah.
So I think, they pretty much know the gist of what's been happening in the 70 days they've been there.
Okay. Do you think he knows about the pearl?
No. See, there's some esoteric information that only certain people know. But I don't really think so.
What about even the plane with the heroin?
Yeah, I think they would have found out about that by now. Okay. Because of the whole gossip with Charlie, the last in season 2 when he was going crazy with the baby.
Yeah,
so
right.
I think that would have come up and how he got the heroin and stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. And Boone died.
And Boone died, revolving around that. So
that's probably something people would talk about.
But
I guess if a couple the medical hatch or something, maybe if 2 characters saw it, then it doesn't necessarily travel.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So in the beginning of this episode, we see Desmond sort of staring at Claire's shack. I don't know what that is. Her humble abode.
Yeah.
And he's sort of getting this weird look, this weird feeling, and then he goes up and tells her, that she's got a problem with her roof. And later we find out during the rainstorm that he sort of predicts that, her roof leaks. And, of course, my question is, how come it never leaked before? This isn't the first time it's rained on the island. It seems like she would have fixed this leaky roof before this encounter.
I didn't think the roof leaked.
It did leak. Because if you notice, right after it started raining, Claire's just sort of sitting there like, oh, we're fine. And then you sort of see water coming in, and then the baby starts crying because what I figured was the baby was getting wet, and that's why she goes and picks up Aaron.
I thought the baby started crying just because of the thunder and the noise of the rain, and she just picked it up. I didn't see any water.
I thought they were making it clear that it was leaky under there. So
you think the lightning had nothing to do with his trying to get her to leave?
No. I think the lightning was only set up right there because he was trying to see how far his vision was going to go. You think he wanted her to leave because the lightning was going to like be close to them?
Yeah, the lightning was going to strike there. And so when he couldn't get her to leave, he built this contraption to basically draw the lightning, over there so it wouldn't hit their tent.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a better theory than mine. Okay, well, that makes sense. That's really weird, but that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. That seems, I guess that's what happened.
That's what I...
Well, then scratch what I said.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Yeah, so, I mean, to me, I just took that part of the story as, further confirmation that he, of course, your interpretation, you take it the same way, I guess, that, your original one at least, that, he's gained, presumably after the Hatch incident, which is not the incident, he's gained this ability to see the future, which, of course, brings up all sorts of paradox problems.
Yeah.
If he saw the lightning striking them and then he changed it, then it didn't really happen. So so either he doesn't see the future or,
Well, I think that's the whole thing with these Visions of the Future stories. It's like, you sort of see what's going to happen, like, if you don't see what's going to happen, like if you don't go change it, this is what's going to go happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is going to happen if you don't do anything about it.
And if he saw himself doing that, building the thing and saving them, then that would be the reason he did it, and then that's sort of problematic too. So yeah, I know. I guess if you look at it as sort of an alternate universe type thing where that did happen somewhere, but in this one he was able to change it. I think that's the only way you can sort of make that work.
Yeah, I mean, part of that parallel universe theory with this future seeing stuff is that, like, their time in the original sort of reality that he's in, it's gonna hit Claire's shack, but once he sees that and decides to change it, that's when his reality, sort of offshoots from that original parallel universe,
Yeah.
So that new decision he makes creates this other universe and this other reality and all that sci-fi stuff that the show seems intent on getting involved in.
Yeah, to some extent.
We'll see how far it goes.
Yeah, every time I think they're going to go really sci-fi, they pull back and make it very realistic. So, I don't know how far they're willing to go with this.
Well, maybe they're doing real fi.
Yeah, okay.
Or sci-lism.
Oh, okay.
Sci-fi realism?
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like they want to hint at sci-fi stuff, but when it comes time to actually explaining things, they go with realism.
Well, what's their realistic explanation for this?
Well, they haven't explained it yet.
Oh. Well, there you go. I don't know how they're going to explain this in any real world.
Well, I don't see how they can, but I don't know. Like, let's see. How could you do it? Good guess? I don't know. Yeah, that's a problem. Maybe they're all. Oh, that's a crappy theory. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how you can make that realistic. I feel the same about the smoke monster.
Maybe they'll never fully explain it. They'll just be like, "Well, it's a result of this, and that'll be it." And they won't explain anything.
Like the dreams and visions and stuff.
I mean, I don't understand why being in a hatch, and the station implosion would give him these clairvoyant powers.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense at
Because
all.
the last time I got imploded, I didn't get any power.
Yeah, well, me too.
I mean, my medical, premium skyrocketed, but
Yeah, well, that's that's what happens when you put yourself in situations like that.
hey, it wasn't my fault.
Well,
I clearly remember you turning the failsafe key. Anyway, I do.
well, I wouldn't have had to if you hadn't broken the computer.
Well, okay, we'll stop there. Could have done that for a while. Okay, there were a very many good lines in this episode. There were a very many good lines.
A very many.
A very many. I like
Okay.
that.
Very nice.
Feel free to use that. in
I
your
did
daily
write down
life.
a lot of lines. Not necessarily because I thought they were good, but
Well, I like Charlie's line. We're gonna have to get that guy another button to push.
oh,
It's quintessential Charlie, but
it is.
I like that line.
Yeah.
So later on, the other story is Jack and the others, and
Definitely the A story of this episode.
I love Juliet comes in and brings more food while Jack is watching some really old cartoons.
Yeah, that was weird. Why are they showing Jack cartoons?
I don't know.
I don't either, but
Old cartoons at that. I mean, give me some Animaniacs
please.
or some Freakazoid. Don't give me any of that stuff.
Yeah, those are the really crappy like. At least if it has to be old, at least make it a Bugs Bunny or something.
Right?
Those cartoons are just like the worst. Every time they came on, it's just like, ugh, I'll watch it, but I don't want to. Anyway.
I love this. This scene parallels, or I should say mirrors, a previous scene with Henry, or I should say Ben and Locke.
Yeah.
Jack says, should I talk to Benjamin here? Like, I'm beginning to think you're the person who just brings my food, and he's being Henry,
Yeah.
and she's being Locke.
Yep.
She's like, we make decisions
We make decisions together.
It doesn't work like that. We make decisions together.
Oh, and he says that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. You're right. But when he was gonna let you die, that's one of the decisions he made on his own.
Yes, he's that was really weird. I mean, they already had a parallel with Ben coming in episode 2, and it seems like that's a theme in this season, like repeating shit from the past. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they've always done that. They just have a lot of stuff to repeat now, but yeah, it was really weird. It was so similar, and I don't know if Juliet cares as much as Locke does. Because it just didn't seem to me like she was, I don't know, she was as affected by it as Locke was.
Well, I feel like Locke really believes it, or not that he really believes it, or that he's scared to admit it's not true. And I think Juliet really believes it, even though I don't think it's true. Because so far it doesn't seem like has any power. Any
No,
control.
not at all. It's really weird. Yeah, I mean, I think she, I don't know. So you think she's just sort of deluded into believing that that's true?
Well, it may have been true at one point. Just as far as what we've seen, I don't think it's true.
Yeah, no, I agree. We haven't seen her like be a leader at all.
No, not at all.
I mean, she's just been even when the plane crashed. She was standing by, and Ben was barking orders at people.
Yeah.
She wasn't. So it's pretty weird. I mean, it's clear other people were reporting to him. I mean, she was like, it doesn't work like that, and I don't know.
Well, maybe she's in charge like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Ben's in charge like Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and they're both in charge on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Or Sunday they rest. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
No one's in charge. Free for all.
Yay!
Yay.
We can have fun and yay.
Well, so one of the big revelations of this episode, right after she says, we make decisions together, Ben runs in and says, "Hey, get your butt moving. I need you."
Yeah.
And he comes and says the sub is back.
Right. I wrote that down. Yeah.
Yeah, at first I heard him say sub when I first watched it, and I didn't know what he meant. And I thought he meant just sort of the group was back. And I'm like, why would he call them a sub?
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, oh, maybe I misheard it. And I was like, wait, sub? Submarine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So for all of those people who were labeled crackpots, who very early on surmised that the others have access to a submarine,
I must say, I never would have believed that.
I think they've been vindicated.
And I think this is a good time to bring up, in the Glass Ballerina, if you remember when Sawyer was looking at Pickett and Colleen sort of kissing goodbye,
Yeah.
they had a little dialogue, and it was basically inaudible, but apparently in the closed captions they sort of showed what they said, and they referred to this thing called the Galaga.
Spell it for me?
It's like the video game, Galaga.
Oh, Galaga.
Galaga, yeah. And or Galaga, I don't know because I can't hear them saying it, but I've just seen it in print. But I'm not really sure how you're supposed to say it. But anyway, they refer to sort of taking that to go get the boat, and so it seems as though that's what they're talking about. There was this whole theory, and I really thought it was sort of BS, and it didn't matter because the line was basically inaudible. But yeah, with him saying the sub, I guess that's what that is.
Interesting.
So,
do you know if I guess you probably don't, but I wonder, are those closed captions just transcripts like everything else, or do they actually get an official script or some sort of official, what is being said? Because sometimes they're wrong now, so maybe they don't. But
I agree, and I brought up that same thing, and I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, we should call the closed caption company.
Because, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, when it's live, obviously, you know what they're doing. In this case, they definitely can do it in advance. So
yeah. Well, I'm just wondering how they know what was said.
Yeah. I agree. Especially when you can't understand it at all.
Exactly.
But I think someone actually asked Greg Nations about it, and
I am so tired of Greg Nations.
Well, he's the only actual pipeline.
Yeah.
Besides the official podcast that we have. So, he pretty much confirmed that there is something there, that's the right word and all that. So,
okay.
So I think that, I don't know that will be really important. Some people mentioned that, we learned Tom's name and Miss Clue's name, real name, before they revealed it on the show in, inaudible dialogue like that.
Oh, okay.
So I think they have a history of sort of getting things pretty much right. I mean, they miss, some things are a little off, but
yeah,
So anyway, I specifically didn't bring it up back then because I thought it was just crap.
Oh, look at you.
But I feel the need to address it now. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I thought it was interesting. They have a submarine, which it's just what don't they have?
Yeah, I know.
I find it really hard to believe they have a submarine.
Actually, I know something they don't have. They don't have the paddles that you shock people with when they're dying.
They have it. It's just broken.
Well, yeah. It's broken, but they don't have it. They didn't get a new one.
Yeah, they didn't get a new one because they didn't need a new one.
I guess not. I don't know. With all the stuff going on, you'd think they might want to get one of those.
Well, others can't actually die.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
What about Colleen, you ask? Well, let me explain.
And Ethan and Goodwin?
They're going to come back as zombies very shortly.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding, please. I just thought it was weird that they have a submarine. It's kind of cool, but it's why? And to just to go from their island to the main island, that's okay. How would they get a submarine? Dharma shouldn't need a submarine, right?
Well, maybe
the animal studies or something.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Well,
why would you? But why would you keep the animals in the ocean where they could swim away?
Well, I don't know.
You would keep them in the aquarium where where they have it all set up.
Maybe the submarine's the Paula Ferry.
Maybe, but that's weird. A submarine for the ferry? Huh? I don't know. It's just weird. The whole submarine thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
What would they? I don't know.
Where would they get a submarine from?
Oh,
I mean, do you
they
think
have
it's
military connections.
Do you think it's a Dharma submarine?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I don't see them getting a submarine any other way.
Yeah.
I mean, everything they have is Dharma, basically. Like, you know, the lab coat has a Dharma logo on it. It just seems like that's all they have is Dharma stuff.
Yeah, that's not a lab coat.
Oh, what is it?
Scrubs.
It looked like a lab coat to me.
The thing Juliet was wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't have sleeves.
I thought it did have sleeves.
Nah. I don't think it has sleeves.
I swear it had
Plus,
sleeves.
it wasn't a coat, it was a shirt.
It looks like a... Okay. I'm gonna stop now.
I'm just saying, get your clothing right, buddy.
Yeah. It really looks like a lab coat to me, but whatever.
Have you seen a lab coat?
Yeah.
That's not what lab coats look like.
That's what I think
Lab
they look
coats
like.
don't have like V-necks in them and like cut off sleeves.
Well, alright, it's a revealing lab coat.
Okay. The lab coat for ladies.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Juliet, should we talk about the fact she's a fertility doctor?
Yes, please. I have a crappy theory to go along with that.
Oh, let me hear it.
You ready? Okay. So recently
Wrong! Okay, I'm kidding.
So recently I've been watching for the first time the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I know exactly what you're going to say, but continue.
And there's this particular episode, I don't remember the name of it, but basically they discovered this planet that has kept itself cloaked for a long time. And it's this utopian society that's like fairly advanced, and they sort of come in contact with the crew of the Enterprise, and it turns out that they're infertile, and so they take all the kids of the Enterprise, to have as their own. And then, of course, it turns out that their technology is poisoning them, and that's why they're infertile, and so blah blah blah. They resolve it, but and so eventually they get the kids back, obviously. But when I was watching that, I thought, wow, this seems really like the others, in a vague space way, and because they were taking kids, and because they were this like secluded, invisible to the rest of the universe, like group of people. It seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed very similar. And then when she said she's a fertility doctor, it made me think that something similar is going on with the others, that they're infertile and that's why they want kids. I don't want to believe that. I hate that theory, but that's what it makes me think.
Yeah, I thought of the same thing because I've seen that episode of Star Trek. To me, I don't want to believe it either, especially since they took more than just kids.
True.
But I feel like there should be more going on than that. I mean, I do think to a certain degree they do want to increase their numbers in general, because otherwise they're just all going to sort of die out, at some point. And that was the part of the plot in the Star Trek episode was that they needed new DNA to be introduced into their gene pool because they had been cloning themselves. I believe it was that episode. They've been cloning themselves to reproduce, but they needed like new DNA because their gene pool was so small. And I sort of thought the same thing about the others, that maybe not only do they need kids, but they need new blood in their system, new life. But that's pretty crappy. The fact that she's a fertility doctor might just be... for me, the biggest question of that is, where did she get her training from?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she hasn't been on the island her whole life then.
That's what it makes me think. But, Ben seems sort of educated. It's possible that she could have maybe left and gone to school and then come back.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, I agree. That's really bizarre, but, it's remotely possible. But, yeah, it could be that they took her. I mean, I don't know how that works. Did she get like kidnapped or something, and now she's just there willingly, or did she volunteer to go there, or I mean, how would that work? How would she end up there? I mean, Dharma wouldn't take her there. I mean, this is another's problem, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think some of the others are from Dharma. Seems like, or at least they had a very close relationship. I mean, I think Ben, I think the older ones might be of something else since they were supposedly there before Dharma. I don't know. Kelvin came there right after the Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
So it was very early 90s.
Yeah.
And Juliet is like 35 or something?
Yeah. That's all the actress is. I don't know how the characters.
So, I mean, she seemed around that age, so 10 years ago, she would have been 25. So, I mean, she really shouldn't have been done with medical school by then.
Well, maybe she's like Jack and she finished 3 years ahead of everybody else.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah, no, it was like 1 year.
Oh, because I was going to say, that's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
3 years ahead of everyone is really hard to believe.
I think it was that he finished in 3 years.
Oh, okay.
But it was 1 year ahead of everybody.
Because I'm like, unless you're Doogie Howser, you can't do that.
Oh. Sorry, Jack, you're not as good as Doogie.
He's not as good as Doogie. But that's the thing. If Kelvin came right after the Gulf War, then that must have been towards the end of when Dharma was around, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely dwindling by that point.
Yeah. I mean, he must have come there, and then, very soon after, they were just done.
Well, no, wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
How long was Kelvin supposed to have been there?
I don't know. He and Rosinski pressed the button for a while. I don't remember how long he said.
I mean, if he got there in 94, say, he would have been there 10 years by the time he died.
Yeah, by the time Desmond came and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think Desmond was actually supposed to be there for a couple years.
Yeah.
So Desmond came 2002, say, which would have been, maybe 8 years into Kelvin being there. But it's really, then when did Radzinski die, and how long was Kelvin there by himself? I mean, I think Kelvin would lose his mind, doing that. I mean, Desmond was on the verge.
You don't think he was crazy by the time Desmond showed up?
I guess he seemed a lot more together than Desmond.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I mean, maybe he's more cut out for it because he's sort of a hardened military guy.
Yeah.
But then again, Desmond was in the military too. Now that I remember.
Yeah, the Scottish military.
Oh, okay. Well, they take it easy.
Does that count? They play a little golf, drink a little Guinness. Oh, is that Irish?
Yeah, it is, but close enough.
I'll drink it anyway.
I bet they love Guinness.
They probably do.
They probably say they don't, but I think they do.
Guinness and the rolling green hills. Is that Ireland too?
Yeah, but Scotland is known for the hills.
Okay, good.
So, I mean, they're very close.
They're right there.
The topography is similar, I think.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait a minute. What was the point?
Well, we were talking about the topology of Scotland versus Ireland.
Right.
No, we were talking about Juliet being a fertility doctor.
Oh, right. Okay, so this was all supposed to. So, I guess the original question was how did that all go down? But the initial thing was what about Dharma? So, yeah, I mean, I guess when Calvin was sent there, Dharma was still active.
Yeah, because he went to join Dharma. I mean, that's what he said.
And then at some point, Dharma was gone.
Yeah.
Maybe after Radzinski did whatever he did. I mean, I now believe that Ben is not Radzinski.
Really?
Because that's not his name.
Ben's lied about his name before.
I know, but man, if they throw another, well, I said my name is Henry Gale, and that made no sense, and then I told you my name is Benjamin Elidas. Well, actually, if he...
No, I'm saying maybe his real name is Ben, but he told Kelvin his name was Rosinski.
Oh, he was lying to Kelvin.
He was lying to Kelvin.
I see. Okay. I might accept that.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy the I told you Henry, then I told you Ben, but it's really Brzezinski.
Yeah, it's like, shut up. Like,
exactly.
It's already shitty. Like, don't do it again.
Yeah. No, I mean, he could have lied to... I mean, at this point, I don't really see Ben being Brzezinski, you know? But...
I don't either. I just don't believe it anymore.
Yeah, but he could be, and, you know, the explanation that he just lied to him.
Yeah.
He likes to lie. He likes to lie even though he's not a bad person. So.
I guess. He's not a killer.
He's not a killer like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, at this point, I'm done listening to that bullshit from the others.
I hate it. They
can't get away with it anymore. Like, you guys have done too much diabolical stuff.
I love when Pickett, right after Colleen died, Pickett was like, they did this. You know, he's yelling up in the observation room to Tom. Yeah. I'm like, well, what did you expect? You tried to hijack their boat.
I know.
You came with 5 armed men. Like, what did you expect them not to defend themselves?
You came with guns to steal their boat. Like, exactly. Why do you think that they're just gonna say, "Oh, okay, you're using like lethal force already"? I don't see why you think you have the right to expect that they're just gonna like roll over and let you do whatever you want. Like. It is really ridiculous. But obviously, I think Pickett is just sort of irrational and crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Ben didn't agree. So.
Well, they need Sawyer for something. So.
Yeah, but he didn't seem to be, sort of as over emotional about the whole thing.
He didn't need to be emotional because it wasn't his wife that died.
Well, yeah.
It may have been his mistress, but I don't think it was his wife.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if we'll ever know about that.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird. But he was definitely like, there's that scene with Ben and Tom is like, well, Pickett wants Sawyer dead, and Ben's like, well, he's gonna have to wait, He didn't say he wasn't gonna kill him, he just said he had to wait,
Yeah, well, yeah, but I guess, like, it just seemed like Ben was sort of, casually dismissive of the whole thing. Like, okay, well, I'll do what I have to do, and then he can kill him.
Yeah.
He isn't sort of passionate about, taking revenge for Colleen.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't really care about Colleen.
So,
surprise.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I did love, what was I going to say? I love when Pickett comes, he's got the little broken nose thing.
Oh, man.
I love when Sawyer called him Chinatown.
I did, too.
Although, I would have liked it more if he called him, Jake or Jake Giddies, but I think more people get the Chinatown.
I agree. It would have been, I would have loved it, but it would have been too obscure for a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That was nice.
But it was really good. It was good for me because it really took me a second to figure out why he said that.
Really?
Chinatown. Let's see. Oh, I like it especially because it's one of those things that I love about the movie. The fact that he spends 3/4 of it with that shit on his face.
Yeah.
And it's also something that, like, most people who talk about the movie don't mention.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that doesn't get a lot of attention. So I just like that they sort of noticed that.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a good...
I also love that scene when Sawyer calls that new jail guy, Mendez, whatever his name is. What do you remember that guy's name?
Oh, the boxer guy?
No.
Oh, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Costanza.
I love when he calls him Costanza.
Right.
Oh, at least Sawyer watches Seinfeld. He's got a sense of humor, so.
I wouldn't have thought he'd be a Seinfeld fan, but, I guess he likes everything.
So, can we talk about Sawyer and the pacemaker?
Please.
Now, that scene was nice and scary.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Oh my god.
The first part of the scene when Sawyer sort of wakes up on the table and the two like bumbling buffoons are about to inject him with the whatever that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny, and of course that has to be a Pulp Fiction reference.
Obviously a Pulp Fiction.
When he's like, no, in the sternum, like in the movie.
It was directly mimic, and they even did the 1, 2, 3, and they both are, and he says, no, you got to get it here. There were lines like almost verbatim from the movie.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was really. I mean, they didn't sort of show it like the movie does, but
yeah, they had to, I think they probably had to cut.
Yeah. Yeah, in the movie you get to see her sort of sitting there with a needle sticking out. It's kind of a good scene, but whatever.
But that's the thing. They shouldn't have been injecting anything into his heart.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, from where the little Band-Aid was when he wakes up in the next scene, it doesn't look like it's in his heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were trying to inject. I don't know what they were doing.
I mean, in the movie, she had a drug overdose, and they were supposed to shoot her with adrenaline.
Yeah, but if he's already awake, shooting him with adrenaline in the heart, wouldn't that overload his heart?
Yeah, I mean that's not what they're. It seems like it knocks him out, but I don't know why they need to fucking like stab him with a needle.
Now, maybe this is why I didn't understand about the whole pacemaker thing, because from what I understand about pacemakers, they basically regulate the heartbeat. Like when the heart needs a jolt, to keep its pace steady, that's why it's called a pacemaker. It keeps the pace steady. So it'll jolt it when the heart needs it. Now, the way Ben described, I'm not a doctor or a pacemaker creator, whatever that is. But
pacemaker
pacemaker squared.
Thank you.
Yeah. For all you math people out there. I'm not any of those people, although it's on my business card. I just, the way he described how that pacemaker was working didn't make any sense to me. Like, if your heart gets too excited, it's going to overload your heart. It's going to basically make your heart more excited or shock your heart, if your heartbeat goes too high. And that just doesn't seem like what a pacemaker does. I mean, pacemakers aren't supposed to kill you if your heartbeat goes too high. And I didn't buy that they had the medical technology and know-how to alter not only insert a pacemaker, but to alter its original function. I didn't buy that the whole time. I didn't think he had a pacemaker the whole time. Didn't make any sense to me. I knew about those kind of watches that can monitor your heart rate, and I knew the whole time. I'm like, he just got a heart monitor on. Like, there's no way he's got a pacemaker in him, because how are you gonna do major surgery to somebody and then they're up and walking like an hour later?
Yeah, heart surgery. Yeah, good point. Although I think I read that it's not that big of a deal.
Really?
That it's like outpatient surgery.
Wouldn't you have to like cut through the ribs or something?
Yeah, it seems like it should be. I mean, I read that on a message board, so
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly a medical journal, so it may not be true. And I don't have a pacemaker, so I don't know. But I don't know anyone who has. But it does seem like it should be some sort of really complicated and difficult.
It seems like at the very least you would need a day or two of recovery. I mean, yeah, that was just weird how you can just. I don't know. I've never seen a pacemaker put in, but
I bought it though.
I just didn't buy it. I just didn't 100%. Buy that anybody in that room had the ability to do the medical procedure and to do it well. And it's like, and the fact that there's just so much, I mean, I watch a lot of ER, so I know, to some extent what it's like when you do surgery, and I'm like, it just didn't seem right. They didn't have the tools ready, they didn't have anything. To me, it was a crappy con, and I mean, the bunny thing, when he's shaking that cage, that was really scary.
Yeah.
I thought the bunny was going to, literally explode.
I thought the bunny was going to, mutate into some kind of monster bunny.
It did look like it was, bubbling and mutating. When I watched it again, it still looked like the bunny was, growing and mutating.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It seemed like a Cronenberg scene or something. It was really scary.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Oh my god. Now, I have something to mention about the bunny.
Okay.
The bunny is a Stephen King reference.
Okay.
And I didn't catch this. Someone else caught this. Good for them. On Writing, his book about writing.
Yeah.
He uses this short passage in which he describes a white bunny in a cage with an 8 on its back to illustrate this point he's making about, how writing works and, how you sort of visualize, what you visualize based on what he says. And it's a long thing, but the central point is he describes this bunny in a cage with an 8
Wow.
on its back. So, I guess that's another Stephen King reference, which I thought was really crazy.
That's really weird.
It's fairly obscure.
Well, that makes me feel like, if that was Ben's idea with the bunny, then Ben is a Stephen King fan, and that guy in the premiere was wrong when he said Ben wouldn't approve of this book.
Oh yeah, so maybe when he said it, when he was in the in the Swan, he was serious. He really wanted some Stephen King.
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe it was just a coincidence, and he never read it, and it's just the writer, the writers are doing it.
Yeah, it might just be the writers. But it's really weird. I mean, I think it's weird. I mean, he mentions in the book, too, like, yeah, and that bunny has an 8 on its back. What's that about? I think that's really weird.
Yeah, I sort of assumed it was like, an animal from their testing labs or something, and then he just, it was number 8, and there were other animals that had numbers on them,
I see.
That's sort of what I just originally thought.
Okay.
And maybe that's the context we're supposed to believe.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
That's what I think, but yeah, that whole thing was weird. I didn't buy the pacemaker thing. That the way he explained how the pacemaker was going to work didn't gel with. I mean, I could be wrong, but it didn't gel with what I sort of thought pacemakers did. And the surgery was way too quick, and I didn't feel like anybody there could do it. And then the whole needle thing didn't make any sense to me. I think the needle was just a sedative to knock him out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really believe that they stabbed him with that, because I feel like it would have pierced some major organs, his intestines or liver or something, with that long needle right through the sort of sternum or right under the sternum.
Yeah.
So I don't really think they stabbed him with that in any sort of realistic sense. I just think it was the writers being clever with the Pulp Fiction reference.
I agree.
Which was good. I that was really cool.
It seemed like part 2 from the son shooting Colleen thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing this whole Pulp Fiction thing. That's really weird.
Yeah,
now,
Pulp Fiction and Stephen King, 2 references apiece so far.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we have seen a bank robbery, but we saw the bank robbery.
Yeah.
With Kate, so that was close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
That's a Reservoir Dogs thing.
Right.
If I see any Pop-Tarts, I'm going to be weary. If Juliet brings any Pop-Tarts to Jack.
Oh, God. Yeah, Ben says ticker for heart, and when he's sort of describing, when he's giving a speech about the pacemaker, and I just don't think anybody can say that word realistically.
Ticker?
Yeah. It just doesn't sound right when he says it to me. It just sounds like an old-fashioned word that nobody uses.
Yeah, I think that might be the point.
You think that might be the point?
Maybe that's the point. That, he's from a different generation type thing? Maybe? Yeah,
he's not old enough for what I think he should be to use a word like that, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm thinking 40s for that kind of word.
1940s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they... Had medicine discovered the human heart by the 1940s?
Oh, dear.
They didn't discover the heart till the 60s. That's why love was a big deal.
Oh.
Because they finally found out where love came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. It's the heart. Wow. Okay.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it just seemed, I don't know, it just seemed sort of wrong. I feel like writers shouldn't use that word, because it just never works for me. In Sin City, one of the characters said that, and it just really sounded wrong. Even in Sin City, it sounded wrong to me.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a place where they could pull it off, but I don't know. Just doesn't, I don't know, just say heart, please. Anyway. Speaking of lines, I think the titular line was used at least 3 or 4 times. in this episode.
Well, it was used very early on, like real quick. I think like the second scene or something.
Yeah.
He says it really quickly. He's the only one who says it, though. I believe he just says it a lot.
Yeah,
towards
exactly.
the end.
It's his mantra for the episode, I guess.
Well, I love that whole thing. Are we gonna talk about that now? That whole scene at the end.
The scene at the end where
With Kate's trying to escape and stuff.
oh, that. We can talk about that if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. I love that whole thing when he's like, every man for themselves, and, you know, she escapes and then gets back in, and she's like,
Live together, die
yeah,
alone.
sorry, I just spaced. Yeah, she's like, live together, die alone. I felt like it was like battle of the sayings, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, checkmate, live together, die alone. And he's like, oh, you got me. Oh, I just love that. It's every man for himself versus live together, die. Because they're the opposite, you know?
Yeah, they are.
The idea behind them is totally opposite.
They are totally opposite.
I did like that whole... I guess we should go back a little bit, because that's sort of the end of that whole story's arc. You know, they give him the pacemaker, then he comes back, and he doesn't... You know, he's not supposed to tell Kate... You know, what's going on with the watch. And I love that he's like, oh, this is my watch, baby. She's like, when did you get a watch? I'm glad, like, you know, because sometimes there's things like that where I feel like the writers just, you know, have the characters overlook it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad she realizes that he didn't have a watch at any point.
Yeah.
So it's like, where'd you get a watch?
It was a really big, obnoxious watch, too. Like,
Wow, it's a heart monitor watch.
It really stuck out. I mean...
Yeah.
And then it's beeping, like, at some point it's like, okay...
Well, it's interesting in that scene where they give Kate new clothes.
Yeah.
Which, well, I guess, maybe they just think the audience is tired of looking at her in that dirty dress or
Yeah,
something.
it was bothering me. I was glad she got some new clothes.
Yeah, then she got, like, a flowery top, though. It was sort of blousy, like a, you know.
Yeah.
Still wasn't good work clothes.
I agree.
She did get, like, pants, though.
I agree. I was just glad because it was clean.
It was clean.
Like, that dress was, like, nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty.
Ugh. I don't know why I care that much, but it just really bothered me.
You're like, I can't watch this episode anymore unless she gets some new clothes. And then Tom comes in and saves the day.
Just don't like dirty clothes. I think that, you know, that'll probably only add to the Kate as a mole theory, but I still don't believe it.
Yeah, I still don't believe it. I think there is some reason why they're being nice to her about the clothes, though. I do think there's something going on with that.
Yeah,
I find it weird that they don't seem to bring Kate and Sawyer food, or have they? No, they haven't, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Sawyer's only food has been the crap from the
the fish biscuits and stuff.
Yeah. And as far as Kate, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think he gives her some of the fish biscuits or whatever. But I just thought that was weird how they're feeding Jack very well, relatively well, and they're not doing anything for Sawyer and Kate.
Yeah.
But making them work and, like, not feeding them.
Right.
Really, really strange. But anyway, so he doesn't tell Kate about the whole thing, and then later we get the next sort of scene in this story is when Ben comes. Sawyer has already concocted his little scheme, which was fairly smart of him. The little... I'll just grab the guy and shock him with the jolt, and
right. Although this time, the fact that Ben can watch them and listen.
Well, I think also what wouldn't have worked, I think, is the fact that once the guy gets close, and Sawyer shocks him, the guy's going to sort of fall backwards, and the key is going to be without, presumably out of Sawyer's reach. So
yeah, what he should have done is wait until the door was open.
He should have waited till the door was open. Yeah, and
then you can sort of bust out or whatever.
But it's one of those writing things where you don't have to do it the way you really should do it, since it's not going to work.
Exactly.
Like if it was going to work, they would have done it that way. But it was not going to work, so they'll just do it whatever other way. So.
Yeah.
But we knew. I actually forgot that Ben was watching. But right when he grabbed his arm and pressed the thing and it didn't work, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Ben's watching.
Yeah.
So he turned it off.
Like the other time when he heard him, I was like, well, what's he going to do with that? But this time he actually had specific information.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll turn that off. and then I'll.
And then Ben like beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, he does.
I'm like, wow, you're not a killer, but you're a beater upper.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty weird. It was like when he attacked Ana Lucia. I thought that was really weird and random and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to sort of do that.
You know, I think if Libby was around, then Libby could help with his emotional problems. He's got anger management issues. Libby would be like, just breathe, Ben. Just breathe. And he'd be like, wow, I'm cured. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. See,
that's the thing. If Colleen's lungs were working, all she would have had to done is just breathe, and she would have miraculously recovered.
That's why she couldn't.
That's why she didn't. Yeah, exactly.
Her lungs weren't working.
Her lungs weren't working.
Oh, Colleen, what a tragedy.
What a tragedy. I'm so. Oh, I love how they call her Cole.
Yeah.
Like, it was a weird revelation to say, oh, her name's Cole, short for Colleen, when we've only known her by Colleen. That's the kind of thing, you know, if we heard Cole the whole time, then we can be like, oh, the revelation is her name's Colleen.
Yeah.
But they throw in this random bit of information that is seemingly going to be useless because she's dead.
I agree.
Unless, like, we get a flashback or something later where they talk about Cole, like, it's useless for us to know that they called her Cole.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really weird, random thing, but I guess they felt like they needed to add that just for detail's sake or something.
Mm-hmm. That's, yeah. I also thought it was weird, speaking of names, that Jack called Ben Benjamin.
Right.
That was weird.
Well, yeah. He introduced himself that way, and I don't know.
Oh, did he? Oh, he did? He said, I'm Benjamin Linus?
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
That's sort of what
I just think of him as Ben because that's what everyone else calls him. But
Yeah, well, hey, he's just like Call. Or Cole.
Did you say Paul?
Should be Call.
It should be Call, not Cole.
Cole.
Colleen. Yeah, well.
Yeah, whatever, guys.
Cole sounds better.
But,
So speaking of Cole, and by Cole I mean Juliet,
right.
the fact that she's a fertility doctor, I was thinking, okay, well maybe she's the one who could have done the C-section in, like when Claire got kidnapped.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But she's a fertility doctor,
Which
she's not a surgeon, as she said.
Yeah.
So I really don't think she could have done it.
Yeah, I don't think fertility doctors usually do C-section.
Yeah, but, so far, I mean, if she's the height of their medical, personnel,
Yeah.
what were they going to do when they were trying to take Claire?
I had the same thought.
Where
Where were all those people who were, like, all dressed up, ready to do shit to her?
Unless Ethan was their surgeon or something, unless he was higher than Colleen on the sort of medical scale.
It's possible. And I have reason to believe that may be true.
Yeah. But it doesn't explain why there were so many people in that operating room. Like there were, there was there looks like at least two or three doctors and a whole bunch of nurses.
Yeah.
And which makes me think it was just a setup. Why it would be a setup, I don't know. It just seemed fake, and maybe it's just one of those things that it's sort of real in the context of the show, but like. The writers can't really explain it because they didn't, it's like that thing I said earlier where they didn't have to go down that road, so they don't have to make it really realistic.
Yeah.
So since, they didn't actually have to do the C-section, then they could just say, oh yeah, there were doctors and blah, 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 and nurses, but, if you ask in the day, where, how that could be possible, I don't think they could explain that.
Yeah, I think it might just be, seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. They're on the tour of the island in the submarine right now.
Or maybe they'd say, oh, they're all over at the village,
Yeah.
Which I don't buy, but, They could say something like that.
Yeah, they could say something like that. That'd be weird.
Yeah, all the doctors are over there, and...
I'd like to know, this is sort of towards the end. I guess we'll save that later. So... We know that they have medical equipment and X-rays. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
That's really expensive and really specific equipment to have. Do you think that stuff Dharma would have? An X-ray machine and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure, why not?
For the animals.
For the animals. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. But I guess they would have that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? What's next?
Oh, boy. Let's see. I have a lot of stuff. Let me see if I can blow through some minor things. Pickett is shown using a walkie-talkie early in the episode.
Uh-huh.
It strikes me now, what a baby word that is. Walkie-talkie.
Oh, it is a baby word.
It's really crappy. Anyway, we need a better word for that. But that seems to maybe debunk the others are telepathic theory.
Oh, I think so. I think if they are telepathic, they don't use it a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't really think they're telepathic anymore. They seem just plain and boring to me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they can't just... I mean, they better do something. Maybe there are two groups of others. I don't want to believe that, but they got to do something. When they were running through the forest with the body at the beginning, I thought, oh, maybe this is magical or something, but
no,
it really wasn't.
No,
I was hoping they would play the whispers, or I don't know, something would happen. Some kind of clue, but
oh no clues for you.
No such luck.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. They got some explaining to do on this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying that every episode. What's the deal with this? And we just don't get it. When Sawyer is first waking up on the table, you can hear Tom not too far in the background because I could pretty much understand him. And he says something like, "It's been 2 days since the sky turned purple. We've been blind. All our comms are down. Or our comms are all down." So, I don't know what that means. But
yeah, well, I think the failsafe has knocked out their communications.
Oh, that would be comms. Okay.
Yeah, if you watch Star Trek, that's what they mean by comm.
I just thought, wow, that techno jargon, I don't understand.
No, comm is short for communications.
Well, it seems very simple now.
Yeah.
But,
when they open up the comm channel, yeah, that's communications channel.
See, I thought it was just fancy words. It really never occurred to me that that's what that means, and now it seems really disgustingly obvious. Anyway, another thing is that Jack hears Sawyer through the intercom.
That intercom is really funny. It's got a life of its own. It's it lets people hear stuff when it wants to. It just sort of comes on and comes on. It really, even if there is a short or something, it really should never come on unless you press that button, Mm-hmm. It shouldn't just be sort of open or, the line is open. That's just weird. I mean, I get, it's been underwater or, potentially got wet at least once, and plus it's old, so I guess we're supposed to bite whatever happens with that thing. But it's a little convenient.
I agree, but I mean, I guess the whole thing about that hasn't worked in years isn't quite true. Does it? Because I mean, we hear it doing what really happens. So does that mean anything for what he heard in the premiere? Is there any chance that wasn't a hallucination?
When he heard his dad say "Let it go"?
Yeah.
I just can't see how that's not a hallucination unless his dad is there in the next room.
I agree.
And then why would his dad say "Let it go"?
I don't know. Doesn't really make
I really
sense.
think that was a hallucination, and I think this one was, it was just sort of a matter of fact thing. Because didn't he hear something twice? I thought he heard something twice in this episode.
He did.
It was.
I don't remember what the second thing was.
Was it Sawyer both times?
I don't think it was. I think it was something else the second time.
Yeah, it was. Second
like
time.
the others talking or something.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
Yeah, they said something like...
Wish we had the transcript.
They said something like, "Oh, that's not our plans," or yeah, there was something there. I don't remember what it was. Then I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I didn't write it down either.
Let's see. Is the transcript up yet? It's not.
It's not up yet.
Well, we know it's there, guys, but
yeah.
Sorry.
It's up to you to figure out what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the mystery.
Ha. Okay, let's see. They don't want Jack to communicate with Kate and Sawyer when
They really don't.
walk him. They play this ridiculous sound. It's a really neat. I mean, he knows they have him. I don't really understand what the big deal is.
I think they don't want Jack to be 100% sure that they're safe. I think that may be a little part of it, and I think the bigger part is like they don't want Jack to sort of know where they are. You know.
Okay.
I thought that was a nice piece of business though, to turn on the sort of siren and so that they could, because they knew they would be calling for Jack, you know,
Yeah.
once they saw him. So I thought that was a nice little piece of business to sort of block out the sound. And he sort of hears something, you know, he stops and
Yeah.
you know, and I you know, he doesn't make any reference, but I like to believe he heard them, just in my heart.
I got that sense too, but then again, maybe he just, I don't know.
Yeah, I vaguely heard something. And
Yeah. And
I'm surprised Sawyer didn't like pick up a rock and like throw it at him or something.
Yeah, that seems like something he would do.
Yeah.
Maybe a shoe.
Well, maybe he would have raised his heart rate too high.
Oh yeah, right. Would have killed him.
It would have beeped the alarm.
Okay.
You know
So-
what else is weird, real quick?
Yeah, sorry, I've been.
No, I just want to mention
Steamrolling
this.
here.
You know, Ben asked Sawyer how old he was and how much he weighs, and that's something he should know.
I agree.
If he has a file on him like he has a file on Jack, he definitely should know how old he is.
Yeah.
And you know, the weighing thing. I mean, he should have some idea. I think he could at least look at him and sort of guess. But
Yeah.
I just thought that was weird. I don't know if he just wanted him to admit it or if that was just, you know.
I feel like that was supposed to be part of the con.
Okay. I
You know,
mean,
because
yeah.
later he says, "Oh, that's why we asked for your age and weight, and if they were right, then blah blah blah."
No, yeah, I think it was part of the con. It just seems like you could have, you know, left it out and just told him, you know, we know you're 35, and well, I guess it's better that way. I guess it's better to ask him. That con was pretty crappy. I mean, obviously, I think if someone did that to me, I probably would be convinced in that situation, you know, just because I wouldn't expect them to lie, but I would still have the same doubts as if those bumbling buffoons could perform major surgery, you know, and the fact that Sawyer didn't really seem like he was in any pain, and like, I don't know, the whole thing, I was just like, it didn't happen. But we'll talk more about that con later. What else were you going to talk about?
Let's see. I have a lot of. Well,
Oh, I did want to mention at least Sawyer and Kate know that Jack's alive now,
true.
so I think that's good for their, you know,
Morale.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree, somewhat.
And maybe that's part of the reason Kate didn't leave, because now she knows Jack is there, and it's, you know, it's one thing to leave with Sawyer, but I don't think she'd want to leave both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
I think that
I mean,
maybe it's underlying little thing in the back of her mind.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was very weird. Her whole escape scene was very weird to me. It struck me just as odd as the Carl escape scene. Like, she just sort of climbs out and, okay, I'm out. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know. It was very sudden, and like, I could have done this the whole time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she never looked up.
And no one, like, came out or anything.
Well, I think that was part. To me, it seemed like part of a test. You know,
Yeah.
I think Ben is smart enough to know that, you know, what those cages are like, and I'm sure, you know, when they decided. I feel like when they decided to put him in there, you know, someone looked at the cage to make sure it was really safe. You know, secure,
Yeah.
I should say. And you know, plus he has a camera on him. Plus, there's nowhere to go.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
there.
Oh, and that reminds me. What's his name should have known that. Earl, or what's his name?
Who?
Carl.
Oh.
Shouldn't Carl have known that there's no place to go when he escaped?
Yeah. He should have.
I mean,
Why wouldn't
I
he?
think that calls into question what was going on with Carl.
Why wouldn't he? could he have never been to the Hydra before, and like he got into trouble over in the others' village, and they sort of brought him there in the same way, so he didn't know necessarily where he was? Is that possible? Because he was a kid, like maybe he doesn't necessarily work or go over there for any reason.
Yeah, and then I have to wonder how Alex was over there.
Well, I knew you were going to go there. See, Alex is a misfit, so maybe she sort of like, maybe after Carl got into trouble, she sort of tagged along using some
on
excuse.
The submarine.
What?
She snuck on the submarine.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's pretty silly.
Jeez.
Maybe she built a raft.
Okay.
And
she took what was left over from Michael's raft and made a new raft.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys blew it up. It works better than ever.
Yeah. Oh man, this rudder is burned to perfection. Oh jeez.
Yeah, that is a problem. But that's the thing. Alex was like with them in the finale, like doing stuff, and with them like in the hunting party doing stuff. So
you
like,
gotta ask why. You gotta ask why.
On missions, and she was there in maternity leave too. Like, I think the real reason why is because
she's Russo's daughter.
Yeah, and she's a character we're supposed to see, and like they want to show her. So when the others are around, she's around. But
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that really makes sense, but that's the best I can come up with because, if I remember right, it was confirmed that he's not some kind of plan and that the escape attempt was legitimate.
How's it confirmed?
I think they said it in the official podcast.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll buy it. I didn't really... it didn't really seem like it was... if it was a setup, it seems really stupid. Where he thought he was going to go, I guess he just didn't know, because he told Sawyer to run, and he asked how far it was to their camp. I would have to believe he just didn't know he was on that rock, and I find that hard to believe he didn't know that.
Maybe he was going to steal the submarine.
Oh, okay, because, well, hey, if they can put in a pacemaker, I believe he can pilot a submarine.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, you just press go, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a submarine that's like, here's a theory. Maybe that underwater cable is like attached to a thing that's attached to the submarine, and so it just goes along that track.
No, that's silly. Maybe it's an Apple submarine, so it's really user-friendly and intuitive.
Oh, okay.
Apple made it, so it's white and beautiful design and really easy to use.
And it has 4 buttons and a
scroll wheel.
And a scroll wheel.
And it's really overpriced.
Oh, God.
But if you have one, you're the envy of all your friends. I'll venture we're the only people to come up with that theory.
Oh, God. Well, that's what I wanted to say. Although I feel like we should wait for me to say that. Do you think the cable maybe is going to this place?
Are coming from that place?
Or coming from that place? Depending on your perspective.
Depending on your perspective. I want to say no because, from the view we get at the end of the episode...
I know.
I should probably finish my thought.
I'm sorry.
No problem. It's funny. From the shot that we get at the end of the episode when we're standing on the whatever it's called, the island that they're on, the Hydra island.
Yeah. And
we're looking at the main island. If there was a cable going to it, it's a direct line of sight. So when Saeed and Hurley found that cable,
yeah.
When we looked out into the ocean, we didn't see anything. Now, some people might be saying, well, maybe there's a visual thing, and so maybe the island was hidden this whole time because of the smaller island was hidden this whole time because of the electromagnetism that was blocking the island. So maybe if someone was at the cable now, they would see the smaller island.
All right, there's a sort of solution.
Maybe. I gotta tell you, man, that scared the crap. It was like the force field thing. When they panned over to the right and they showed the island, I was like, oh my god, there's 2 islands. I thought there were like 2 exact islands,
You thought what?
I thought there was 2 exact islands. like a mirror of it.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought there was like a, two of the same exact island. And I was freaked out. I was like, oh my god, what does that mean? There's 2 islands.
Oh my god.
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be really insane.
Like some weird mirrored version of it. And
oh my god. Wow. I wish it was what you thought.
usually what I think is more interesting.
That would be really crazy.
Yeah.
That never even occurred to me.
Yeah, because I assumed they were on the island, and so when they showed us the other island, I was like, okay, there's 2 islands. I'm like, okay, now what does that mean? Does that mean there's 2 versions of everybody, or like?
Oh god.
Yeah, my mind just went crazy.
Oh my god. Oh, and then he explains.
And then he explains it. I'm like, oh,
that's all there is.
I've been to Alcatraz. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
All right, I haven't though.
Oh. Okay.
I did live in San Francisco. Never went.
Oh yeah. Mm.
I didn't want to go.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Good.
Pretty boring, actually.
So
there was a great MythBusters about it, though.
Well, we'll save that for our MythBusters podcast.
Just saying it's all.
Just saying it's all. Okay, let's talk about the scene. Okay, I think we skipped it, but
yeah, we skipped a lot.
When Pickett is really pissed that Cole died.
Right.
Right before this, let me say how. I understand Jack is a good Samaritan, probably the quintessential good Samaritan.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a little weird how quickly he jumped into wanting to save Khalid. I mean, I guess if you're a doctor, you just have that natural instinct to help people no matter what's going on around you. But I felt like he would have hesitated and be like, no, you tell me where Kate and Sawyer are before I do anything. I mean, that's like the best leverage he could have ever had. Like if you want me to save her, you tell me why I'm here. You tell me blah, blah, blah. And take the 5-10 seconds, to at least attempt to get some information. But obviously it's, to his character that he would just jump in and try to save her.
And, I'd say that's exactly what I expected. Like, if they, you had your big cooperate theory, and I half believed it, and pretty much was true, and, not that he knew that at the time, but, I think...
And then we have what's coming up next
Yeah,
season,
exactly,
next
which is
episode.
probably the real thing.
Yeah.
But, I thought, like, if she comes in shot and they're like, we need your help, like, I really thought he would just do it and not, like, try to, use it as a bargaining tool or something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like his medical ethics would supersede the situation he's in. And that he would, he would say, this person is dying, I have to help them regardless of what's going on.
Yeah, but it's just Cole.
Yeah, I know. But I definitely, that's what I expected him to do. But, Jack, I guess he's not necessarily unpredictable. Although he did surprise me a little bit in this episode.
A little.
Times. Just a little.
A little. Okay, so after this, Pickett storms out because he's angry that his
And he
wife...
blames Sawyer for some reason.
He blames Sawyer. Okay, I want to get into this whole love thing. I think there's something going on here.
Okay.
He seems to want to take it out on Sawyer, who I think, of the 3 people there is the easiest target. Kate's out, because he basically is pissed at the Losties.
Yeah.
And he wants to take it out on somebody, and, I think it's, he already hates Sawyer.
Jack's out maybe because he tried to help save her life.
Exactly. So Kate's out because she's a dainty female.
Right.
Although she's born to run, so be careful.
Born to run, but she's staying put.
Yeah. At least for now. Live together, die alone. So anyway, he takes Sawyer out of the cage and just sort of beats him to a bloody pulp. I counted how many times he hit him, and it was 9. I just wanted to see if it would be a number.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just like, eh. I think if you count how many punches, it's 8, but I think he kicks him once, so that makes the 9th hit.
Oh.
But I don't think it obviously means anything, but I just was like, well, let me see, just in case. You never know.
I feel like they're done with the numbers.
Yeah, until next season.
Yeah.
So...
I agree.
So he's like, do you love this man? Do you love him?
Right.
Which
the
was
thing
just,
from the promo.
Which was just really weird and strange. And to me, there seems to be some theme. I think that that's part of the reason that they're there has something to do with their relationship to each other. And I say that because of this whole thing with "Do you love him?" and what Ben says in the end, to Sawyer, that it wasn't that I told you you had a pacemaker that kept you in line. It's because I told you I would harm her.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're just sort of interested in a general, sort of human study way about their relationship, or if there's something more going on. But it seems like that's important for some reason. I don't know why he would say, "Do you love him?" Unless, I'm trying to think of the context that his wife just died.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you if you don't love him, I'll kill him. But if you do love him, I don't want to take away somebody you love or something.
Yeah, maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point. It seemed really random to me, but I guess when you put it that way, it's like, well, yeah.
But then even in the end though, towards the end, like I said, Tom tells Ben, Pickett wants Sawyer dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why does he want him dead so badly? It's not Sawyer's fault. If anybody kills Son.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. Even though I don't think you can really blame Son.
Yeah, well, she would get off in a court.
Yeah, I mean, please.
Yeah.
Someone storms your boat with guns. I think you're okay to shoot.
And plus the motor scared her.
And the motor scared her. Yeah.
So many people get off on the motor technicality in this country. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I hadn't looked up my case studies recently.
15% get off
15%. Wow.
on the motor technicality.
That's rather staggering.
It's only trumped by 18% by the Pop-Tart technicality.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I knew that many people even ate Pop-Tarts.
Oh, they're huge. Kellogg's is a good company. They make a lot of good, fine products.
Indeed.
That sounded like like they paid me to say that. And they did. Because when I get up in the morning, I eat my Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. They're great.
I prefer the Corn Flakes myself. Less sugar, great taste.
Okay, we just lost a couple listeners.
Sorry.
I think we lost some people. Let's get back to Lost.
Yes, please. Yes, okay, good. I think that's a good analysis of that scene. Even though, I guess maybe the point is he couldn't kill him then because he knew Ben wanted him for some reason.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll just get in a few good hits, and maybe he would have beat him more or something if she didn't say that she loved him or whatever. But he still wants to kill him. I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I barely buy my explanation of that scene. It just doesn't really seem to make any sense besides bringing up very clearly the whole idea of Kate loving Sawyer.
Right.
Which I think she does, despite the fact that she says she didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, what she said is exactly what I thought when the scene was going on.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, they weren't beating her up, but, if you torture somebody long enough, they'll tell you anything.
Yeah.
And so, to me, it's not, in a situation like that, what somebody says is not to be considered, truth.
Well, I agree, but what gets me... Well, first of all, I mean, obviously she likes Sawyer, they're friends.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think she cares about it. She didn't want him to get the shit beat out of him.
Exactly. But towards the end, when he's like, well, if you really love me, you'd run or you'd leave me, and she's like, she gets that look on her face, and she's like, I only said that so he'd stop beating you. And when I first saw the episode of I Believed Her, I was like, okay. But then when I saw it again, it's just that look on her face makes me feel like she doesn't want to be vulnerable. She doesn't want to have, have that whole thing going on.
Not a look.
Yeah, no, it was a look. Her delivery of that line made me think that she didn't want, not that she didn't want her to have the upper hand, having that knowledge, but she didn't want that out there, I think, and so she tried to take it back. So I really think she does love him. I mean, what's not to love? He reads books and he's a good boxer. I mean, what do you want?
That's it, huh?
That's all you need.
Wow, that's all he's got going for him.
He's got nice hair.
He's got nice hair. Okay,
yeah,
all right. Very stylish stubble.
It is very stylish stubble.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she would have done that if it had been anybody else that she.
If it would have been like Charlie.
Anybody that she sort of cared about getting beat up.
I'm sorry, I don't think she would have said that about Charlie.
You don't think so?
No, I don't know. I mean, I mean,
I know you don't care about Charlie, but I mean, in real life, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want this person to get beat up, like, in front of you. It's like, if you can just say something and they'll stop.
At the very least, she would have held out longer before she said yes to Charlie. I think so. I mean, because she held out, for 9 punches.
She did hold out too long. Maybe it took her that long to realize that's what she had to say. I don't.
Yeah, she was sort of confused about what was going on, which is rightfully so, because it's a very strange situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I think it could go either way easily. And I sort of viewed her saying "live together, die alone" as sort of being more on Jack's side, versus Sawyer's "every man for himself" thing.
That's the thing. But after this, obviously I don't know how this whole thing's going to end with them being captured, but she's definitely going to have a stronger bond with Jack. I mean, with Sawyer after this.
I agree.
And I think right now that it's leaning towards Sawyer more than Jack.
Well, yeah. I mean, if she didn't get to talk to Jack, then
I just feel like I feel like she does love him. I mean, she might not love him as much as she loves Jack. I mean, I say love in sort of the TV sense.
I know.
But I think she does, and like I said, what's not to love?
I agree. We all love him, don't we?
We do. With his quips, he's quippy too.
He's very quippy.
We just made that up.
What, you want me to talk about your mama?
Oh. Gotta love that.
Oh, yeah. He's a bitch, that Sawyer.
So,
anyway,
what are we talking about now?
Well, let's see. Shall we talk about the x-rays?
Sure, we got a couple things to talk about. But yeah, let's talk about the x-rays.
Do you want to go to some other stuff? I'm sort of done with the minor topics, so...
we still need... I think we need to... Do we need to talk about the escape anymore?
What escape? Oh, Kate's escape?
Yeah.
I thought we... Did you want to say something about it?
Well, I like the scene a lot. I like the I like the fact that she sort of knew he was sort of lying and was like, well, we need to just get out of here. She sort of called his bluff in a way, but anyway, she escapes. I just like the idea that she got back in there. I didn't expect that at the beginning. I expected her to sort of try to run somewhere. And but then that would have been useless, obviously.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that she just sort of gets back in the cage and nothing happened, and then she sort of makes a stand. She's like, I'm not going to leave you no matter what happens, and live together, die alone, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the way that scene played out.
Yeah, I agree. I just her climbing out of the cage just struck me as so strange. I couldn't. It was hard for me to watch because it just seems so abrupt and easy.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I don't expect escapes to be that easy. I mean, I guess the idea is she just didn't notice that she could do that. But,
yeah.
I would think Carl could pull that off too. I mean, he was pretty small.
Carl probably could have, but I don't know if he's got the upper body strength like Kate to actually climb his way up.
Yeah. Is that what you need?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, well, okay. Fair enough. I like that she sort of climbed back in and all that. Just the way she climbed out struck me as odd. But.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, hey, I just happened to look up and I just happened to notice I could squeeze through.
Yeah. And, all right, I'm out. Hooray. I don't know. I guess I expected more drama to come with that, but and somebody to do something about it.
Yeah, they were watching them. So.
I know. Okay. Ben is always watching you.
Ben. God can't see you, but Ben can.
Exactly.
I thought it was weird that they had Jack chained to Colleen's bed.
Not only that, but, Ben specifically wanted him to stay there.
Yeah, and, sort of... It's almost like when a kid does something bad, you make him go like think about what they did.
Yeah.
You know, so he's like making Jack face what happened as a result of someone else's actions.
I know.
But somehow he was sort of getting blamed.
I know. I mean, I sort of understand in a sense because, you know, I think the Lost people have done that with the others.
Yeah.
You know, whatever Ethan did, they sort of blamed on everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, if it's for the group, then it's more reasonable because Sun's actions were obviously not, like, on behalf of the Lost camp. But
exactly.
Self-defense, seriously. So it's very different, but, yeah, I mean, I think they're just not... They're getting to the point where I feel like it's impossible for them to stand on we're the good guys.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is, you know, when they killed Goodwin and everybody else, like they don't... The idea of self-defense they don't believe in unless it's them.
Yeah.
You know, they don't understand. Well, Goodwin was trying to kill me. Well, so what? You should have died. And this whole thing of making Jack like sit with Colleen, I think would work better on someone who's not a doctor and accustomed to death.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think Jack was fazed by that one bit.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, that was not a good tactic for him.
No.
Because
that's like some sitcom that the parents tell the kids like, go to your room. And the kid was like, yay, I love my room.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff to do in there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he loved it.
Well, I think he loved it, but he sure didn't. I don't think he hated it.
But yeah, it wasn't like, oh God, a dead body. Never seen one of those before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. You know.
I'm surprised. What?
I thought it was weird that he tried to call time of death. Like,
I love that because it's force of habit.
Yeah, I guess that's what
it's
it was.
It's just force of habit. He's like, she died. He's like, okay, time of death. And he looked around. There's no clock, which obviously means that's not an operating room.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it seemed like it kind of was.
Yeah, it did. Maybe it's an operating room without a clock, or maybe they took the clock out.
Yeah, or maybe when you're operating on animals, you don't need clocks because animals never die.
Yeah, or maybe you just don't need, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter that much to note the time.
It definitely seemed like an operating room because it had the washroom and the X-ray thing and then the observatory. So they just didn't it didn't have a clock or they didn't have it because they took it out or something.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing. It's like when you're writing an episode, why not just put the clock in there so you can call time of death and then no one would question anything.
Yeah,
but
maybe they just liked having him not call it.
Yeah.
They liked that idea so much that they didn't want to put a clock in.
Yeah, that's weird. So when Jack's washing up to go to operate, he sees the X-rays,
right,
of a 40-year-old man with a tumor on his L4 vertebrae.
Oh boy!
And he just happens to be a spinal surgeon. Obviously, Jack is sort of starting to figure out why he's there and that they sort of need him. You know, he says, "Who am I here to save?" You know. And I guess my question is, I mean, it's sort of obvious, you know, that it seems to me that they took him for that because he's a spinal surgeon. But, you know, you don't think it's a coincidence, do you? Like, hey, we need Jack for A, B, and C, but hey, look, he's a spinal surgeon, so he can fix, you know, Ben while he's at it.
Right.
You don't think it's a coincidence, right?
No, but then the question becomes, why didn't they take him in the hunting party?
Why?
I asked why.
Oh. I guess I'm asking why you're asking why. No. Well, there's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to name some of them?
Please.
Well, the first big reason is that they need Jack for the rest of the season.
Uh-huh.
You know, they needed him for the rest of season 2.
Okay, so it's mere contrivance.
Mere contrivance. The other reason is Ben may not have known at that point that he had the tumor.
Okay, so that was like, let's see, maybe 2 weeks before this?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
He may not have known. I mean, you know, he may not have had the X-ray or something. I don't know.
Okay.
What other reasons would they not have taken him sooner?
Do you think that Ben going to, you know, infiltrate had anything to do with the tumor?
No, I thought about that when I was trying to come up with reasons, and I don't think so.
I don't either, because it doesn't make sense.
Ooh, here's a good idea. You ready?
Okay.
Maybe after the failsafe went off, his tumor started growing. Maybe before, like, he was in remission, or he didn't have the symptoms or the effects of a tumor. But since the failsafe has gone off, the island doesn't have its powers anymore.
Okay.
And so that's why the tumor's there.
But then that's not why they took them. Because they were already taking them before the failsafe.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I feel like they were taking Jack for more than just this reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, I mean, regardless of why they didn't take him before.
So it was just a lucky... Because, I mean, they specifically requested Jack, Kate, and Sawyer and Hurley before they even talked to Ben, presumably. So,
What do you mean? Before who talked to Ben?
The others, because Ben was captured when they asked for Jack, Kate, and Sawyer.
Yeah, but who knows when Ben could have told them to get those people, before. Because Ben was, let me see. So Ben was, they had Michael before Ben got captured, right?
Who had Michael?
The others had Michael.
Oh, yes.
Well, they had Michael right around the hunting party. That's when they got him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was before. It was just like a couple days. So
I mean, Ben could have said, okay, well, blah blah blah, we're gonna do this whole plan, because obviously he helped plan the fake camp thing.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's safe to say that he had already told them who to take by then before he left.
Okay. I mean, it's just weird because they make the deal with Michael, we'll give you Wall for these people and Ben, and, I mean...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They had them. It just seems like it was just like fortunate. Oh, we have this guy who needs something from us, and we need this, and we can't get them ourselves for no apparent reason.
Well, I think they could have got them themselves if they really want. I mean, they have the ability to at least.
Well, Michael asked about that, and Miss Clue says that they can't. Although, I mean, she could just be lying.
Really? Is that? I forgot about that.
Yeah, in 3 minutes, Michael's like. I guess I could look up what the actual line was, but he's like, well, if you want him back, why don't you just get him yourself? And she's like, we can't
get Henry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant get Jack, Kate, and Sawyer.
I think he might have meant them too.
Well, anyway, I think there's some more to be discussed about that whole thing of when they wanted them and why. I still think that they want them for a very specific reason, and I don't think the only reason they want Jack is the tumor thing. I feel like there's something bigger than that going on. Maybe not, but that's just my theory, that there's something else going on.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, I hope that's not it, because that's really boring.
It is boring.
I have cancer and I need a doctor.
And for those of people who are confused, or if anyone's confused, we're referencing this because next on Lost, in the next episode, what's it called?
The Cost of Living.
The Cost of Living. We basically find out it's Ben who has the tumor.
I mean, I actually sort of assumed that just before I saw it.
Of course. It's a plausible assumption.
So, but yeah, that just sort of confirms it, which, you may consider that a spoiler, but whatever.
Nah. It's a very loose spoiler.
Yeah, and do you really care? I mean, come on.
Nah.
So, I just hope it doesn't boil down to that. Because, you have access to the outside world. Can't you get a doctor? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. It's Jack has proven to be good at removing these tumors.
Okay.
Well, I think actually the tumor he removed, the guy died. So.
Yeah, the Italian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe they think he he's really good. So if anybody can do it,
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where if anybody can do it, Jack can do it, and they have him there.
So just like random luck, like this brilliant surgeon crashed on the island where they were.
Maybe it's not random luck.
Is that like the? I mean, that just seems crazy to me. But and then why do they want Kate and Sawyer just to study their relationship somehow?
No, I mean, in the next Down Lost, we'll just spoil it some more. Pickett tells Sawyer that they need. What did he say specifically? Like they're not gonna let you go because they need you or something.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
It was something like that. Like they're not gonna let you go until they're done with you or something like that. So they obviously want Sawyer for something very specific. I don't think it's just watching them, but so far, they've done a little bit of work and then they've been watched a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I'm sort of getting bored. Like I like. As much as I'm getting bored with what's going on with the others and the the Lossies being captured, they keep giving me stuff to keep me interested, But it's like, you guys better tell me what's going on soon, or I'm just gonna have to keep watching.
Exactly. I mean, I wonder if it's not going to be like The Button, where they spend the whole season giving us a little at a time.
No, I think
hieroglyphics here. And
no, I think we'll be done. I really think we'll be done with them being captured by the end of this block. So we got 2 more episodes.
Well, okay, maybe we'll be done with them being captured, but actually, I don't think that. I think if anything, they'll escape like right at the beginning of the second block. But I think they'll make an attempt, obviously, but I don't think they'll fully succeed this part.
It would just suck for them to be still captured for this whole break.
But I don't think. Yeah, but I think. I mean, I think it's all. I mean, yeah. I just don't see them escaping before the end, or maybe one of them will, or something.
I don't want to spend a whole season with them captured.
Oh, I don't think they'll do that either. I think they're going to leave some sort of cliffhanger, and I feel like at least one of them will still be captured, and they'll have to be dealt with in the second half. And I feel like they will be, like, by episode 10 or so, I think they'll definitely be all out.
Well, now I have a big question about the next episode.
Because, like, okay, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if this is spoiler material.
Oh,
it's based on the next Down Lost thing.
Okay, so do you want to? Can you remember it? You want to?
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay, but well, I guess you don't think we'll know everything there is to know about the others by the 6th episode.
I wish, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think they'll draw out. Not necessarily just like taking them captive story. They'll let that die. But I think dealing with the others in general, I think that could go on all season.
Do you think that X-Ray was like recent? Like Ben had just recently done that? I mean, it's really. I find it interesting. It's just sort of hanging up there.
I mean, how long would they leave it there?
That's what I want to know. Like, how long would they leave it there?
It's pretty weird. I would say contrivance if I had to.
Yeah.
Because,
And, like, who... I mean, I guess Juliet can take an X-ray, right? I mean...
Yeah.
And...
It's not that hard.
I just wonder... I feel like there's some other... There needs to be some other people there with medical skills.
I agree.
Because, I mean, if I saw an X-ray, I would know what to... I mean, I would know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Or how to interpret it, correctly. So, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be... I mean, I guess... Juliet knows enough to be able to say, "Well, that's a tumor in your spine."
Yeah,
but
maybe the doctors are elsewhere, and they
couldn't get called back quick enough to work on Colleen.
Yeah, but they did look at the tumor, and then they left.
They left. Oh, we just missed them, Colleen. Sorry. You have to die. I thought it was interesting how Jack knew that the X-rays were of a 40-year-old man.
I know. I don't know if that's realistic. I mean, at least he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And, that's something sort of medical and not like, well, by the looks of his clothes.
Yeah, exactly. But the lighting on the X-ray, I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was like, how could you tell if he was 35 or 40 or 30 or 40 even? Like, what would, especially, it was sort of a close-up x-ray, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would really denote the age of someone, that specifically? Like, okay, that's obviously the spine of a 40-year-old man versus a 30. I mean, maybe. To me, it's barely plausible, but I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor either, and obviously, I guess I just assumed that that there's some sort of subtle things that you can pick up on, and maybe it's plus or minus 3 years.
Okay.
You know, he just sort of said, you know, because he said 40, it's kind of generic. If he said 43. You know, it would be like, okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah. Ooh.
Who am I here to save?
Who am I here to save, Julie?
Juliet? Okay. Save it for later.
Sorry.
I love that line. I don't care about making you feel better.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Wow.
that was really good.
Thanks, Jack, for being a bitch for once.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. She's like, did you just say that to make me
feel better?
It's like,
Bet the eyes, bet the eyes.
yeah.
God. Yeah, I hated Juliet in that scene. I was glad.
Is it just me, or did she get more hair? She just seemed like she had a lot of hair in this episode.
It looked different.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like more. It seemed like the style changed drastically.
Okay.
They filmed all these episodes close together, and so I wouldn't expect her hair to change very much between episodes. But
It seems like she got like extend. I don't know. It seems like her hair just was like a lot more and longer. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe she just was wearing it differently.
maybe she just took a trip to the stylist.
Well, she can do that in her submarine.
Oh God.
It's like, what next? They're gonna have an aircraft carrier. Jeez, and a couple jets. We got another station on the moon. It's called Luna. It's the Luna station.
Oh no. Oh, come, get in the rocket. We shall go there.
Get in the rocket. Oh man.
Yeah, you know, that'd be the end for me, I think.
If they took a rocket to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty bad.
I think that's pretty much no more Lost. Sorry.
All right.
So, shall we pay some lip service at least to Sawyer's backstory?
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about that. That was the easiest con in the world.
Yeah, I know.
That was pretty easy. I mean, Sawyer could have done that in his sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know, obviously people watch the episode, but you know, there's a new guy in the prison. It's interesting how they did solidify Sawyer as a fighter. You know, he's a boxer.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird how like Sawyer's hitting the guy, and then like the guy sort of goes down. I mean, I don't know if the Sawyer keep hitting him or something. For whatever reason, the referee is like, "Okay, that's enough, Sawyer. That's enough." I'm like, "What? He's boxing him. He's supposed to be hitting him." It was weird, but it was really weird. I'm like, he's supposed to.
Enough
be
with the hitting already.
Yeah.
This is boxing, not.
But they do, so cement that he is a fighter and a boxer, and so he's, we've seen him be that before, so to a certain extent. So now we know for a fact he's got some fighting skills.
Yeah, I never made that connection.
Yeah, I just made it now.
Wow.
Don't feel too bad. I just thought about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I always wondered, sort of in the past, like when he was being tortured and stuff. I always thought he seems very sturdy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And I think that's how he was able to sort of size up, the others when he got into the fisticuffs in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, the new guy comes in. I forgot the guy's name, Mendez or something like that.
The Costanza?
The Costanza. We'll call him
Munson.
Costanza. What?
Munson.
Munson. Oh, geez. What a glorious name.
Yeah.
That's a glamour name right there.
You're going places, kid.
So, Munson comes in. He's stolen $10 million from the government. No one knows where it is. So Sawyer, tells the guy, hey, the warden's after your money. He's going to even get your wife involved.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, and of course, what you really need for this con to work is, why do you care about me, Sawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Are they good to see your heart? No, I just don't want the warden to get the money because he and I are enemies.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic. It's really classic.
Yeah.
And so the pieces fall into place. Like, I don't really know what Munson and his wife were talking about, but I feel like the fact that Munson thought his wife was scheming for the money, whatever she said, it was skewed towards that idea.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think the warden had her involved at all. I don't find it believable that he could have sort of coerced her to be like, you go and pretend, you go and try to find out where the money is, because he's just a warden,
Yeah.
Unless, she was, working for the FBI, the FBI said, hey, you do all you can to have him tell us where this money is, or you're going down too. Unless she was getting some heat, I don't buy that she really said anything to make him, that would have normally made him think she was against him. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that Sawyer said, hey, she's going to be, working against you, that he just sort of assumed she would be.
Yeah.
And she sort of said whatever to sort of fall in line with that. I guess we should quickly talk about that since we're in this scene. What's her name comes back and says, so, hey,
Cassidy.
Sawyer. Yeah, Cassidy comes back. Oh, is her name Cassidy?
Mm-hmm.
That makes Clementine seem more plausible.
Yeah, exactly. That's...
All these Western names.
Yeah, someone brought up on one of the message boards, what kind of name is Clementine?
Yeah.
Well, look at her mom.
Yeah. God. Well,
Yeah.
I do want to quickly mention, because this came up last episode, that, you said they don't pick up on flashbacks and show you what happened after them, but they did in this episode.
Yeah, but it's not what I meant by that. Of course they have flashbacks that sort of follow each other and continue the story. But what I meant was there's not going to be a big twist. Like, what you were saying was this was all an elaborate con on Locke, and that's what we're going to find out in the next episode. I meant there's not going to be some crazy revelation like that.
Well, I didn't expect it to be a flashback like it takes place very soon after. I just thought it would, we would see another episode where, the way they present the episode, that part of his flashback, it would be obvious that it was a con, or they would make a reference to the fact that he killed this guy, Not that they would really pick back up on it immediately, but that we would find out more about what happened in a later flashback. So that's really what I meant. But anyway,
I guess because I think some of the flashbacks, some of the other flashbacks are clearly linked. I mean, they tell a story, and so I mean, yeah. What I'm saying there is definitely not literally true. So.
Well, I mean, I thought the fact that he got caught from that con was sort of a twist. I mean, I didn't expect that. It seemed like he got away with it totally.
It did, yeah, it did. You're right. I mean, maybe that counts. I just don't think they're going to do that with Locke. But
nah.
But yeah, you're right. You win.
Yay, 2 points.
You're the Wiener.
The Wiener. Okay, well. I don't know what to do with that. So, it's a little interesting. So he has a kid, or he says
I'm surprised we haven't had the scene where someone's like, sorry, you got any kids? And he's like, no.
No. But I got a baby.
Very meaningful, Yeah, I almost want to believe it's not true, but...
that picture looked really fake to me.
Yeah.
It looked like a stock photo. That's not the kind of picture people take of their kids. Very well, composed.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just seemed really fake.
I agree.
And I would not be surprised. I'll say it here right now, folks. I would not be surprised if she's conning him.
Yeah, I know.
And that money that he gave her in the end, one day we'll find out that, although it's in Clementine's name, but she could still probably get a hold of it somehow. She's crafty. Now that she's learned from the best.
Yeah.
But I feel like that I really feel like that's sort of a con.
Yeah.
But who knows?
A lot of people, I was reading a lot of people saying that. I don't think so. I wish, but I don't think so.
Why not?
Just because the same reason I don't think it was a con on Locke. I just don't think. I think if it was a con, we would have found out in this episode.
Oh, okay. You're sticking to that whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
I'm sticking to it. I'm ready to be proved wrong, but I'm sticking to it for now.
There wasn't room to find out. Because it really wasn't about Sawyer being conned. It was about Sawyer conning the other guy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They could have thrown in an extra scene.
But that would have been weird because they'd have to put it way at the end after he already decides to give the money to the kid.
Yeah.
Then later they would have. I mean, that would have been really weird.
Well, you're right.
Maybe that's why they didn't do it.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Okay. So yeah. So Munson comes to Sawyer and he says, all that stuff you told me, well, it's true. Here's where the money is.
Mm-hmm. And there's that key moment, that happens with Sawyer, I guess, where, it always has to be the person's idea, and they sort of talk him into it, but it's really his idea. And
exactly. He says no, and he tries to leave, and
And he has that look, that, like, I'm gonna con you look.
That look that's like, are you this stupid?
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. You're talking me into doing what you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And, I knew, I guess I half suspected earlier, because he's a con man, and every one of his flashbacks is about con somehow.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't know from the beginning?
I thought there was half a chance.
Oh, no.
I thought there was half a chance they were going to go in a different direction.
Nah.
And have it be a Sawyer flashback, not about a con for once.
Nah.
But, no, wrong.
Try again.
Strike 2. Or 3. Whatever. 4.
10, I think.
Lots of strikes. So, whatever. He cons him.
He cons him, then we find out he's working with the FBI, and they're like, okay, well, since you got the $10 million... Well, what was weird was, they said, once we get the money, we'll put the money in your account, but they were going to sort of let him go right then. Which I thought was weird, because they sort of could have been lying about where the money was.
Well, yeah.
I guess they just trusted him because he's a con artist and an incarcerated con artist. They're the most trustworthy people ever.
Yeah, I guess maybe just because it would have been anticlimactic to say, well, we'll let you go when we find the money.
Yeah.
Go wait there.
Go wait there. I thought it was going to be like, James Ford, you are a free man. Once we find the money.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it just would have played weird.
I agree.
Even though I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
That's what they should do. You don't let the guy... I mean...
Well, what I would have done was, I would have basically had Sawyer sort of in a scene we didn't see tell them where the money was. Mm-hmm. And this was sort of the scene where he's just sort of explaining what happened, and they're explaining what happened, and then the FBI agent gets a radio. We found it. It was where he said it was.
Yeah.
And then everything else can play out like it played out.
Yeah, that would have worked.
But what am I? A writer on Lost?
Yeah.
No.
Oh God. If only.
If only.
God,
if I was a writer on the show, we'd have the best spoilers ever.
Indeed.
And then
2 identical islands, guys.
Yeah, exactly. If I was a writer, we'd have 2 identical islands. Why? Who knows?
He hasn't thought that far ahead yet, but come on. How can you not love that idea? It's scary and interesting.
And the glass would have been a force field.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, see, now I'm not sure I like that.
Well, you wouldn't have had a choice, right?
I guess I gotta take the good with the bad.
I know. Do you like everything the real writers do? Come on.
Well, yeah, I guess not.
Uh-huh. My name's Henry Gale.
All right, well, they all have their weak spots, I guess.
They do. Anyway, I think that's the end of his backstory.
Yeah, it is. It wasn't a terribly intriguing backstory.
I wanted to ask about Desmond and his future telling.
Okay.
Is he like the new Locke? You know how Locke had that when Locke was in with Boone in season 1? He's like, it's gonna rain in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it seems similar to that. But I feel like Locke thing was different.
Yeah, I feel like Locke was just in tune with the island, not foretelling the future. But I mean, it could be seen as foretelling the future, and at least in that instance, I mean, he did sort of foretell the future.
He did.
I agree, it does seem different, but
yeah. That's the sound of not having a good answer.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need an answer. I just wanted to bring up the fact that it seems like he's sort of the new Locke, and
in some ways, but I don't get the sense he's on any kind of journey.
I think he is now. I think I think he's getting. I really think the island is the reason he has these sort of powers, and he's very introspective, and I think he's sort of trying to figure out what's going on and what he's supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So I think, I don't know if he's really in tune with the island like Locke was or is, but
was.
Nice. Did you see the last episode? I think it is.
Beg to differ.
Yeah, me too. And so I do want to ask. I guess this is sort of into spoilers, though. So are we done with the episode?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is our spoiler section, people.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. If you don't want to be spoiled, it's not going to be heavy on spoilers, but
no, it's really not. For a very specific reason on my part.
Yeah. Someone didn't do their homework.
Well, no, that's not quite it.
Oh. Well, that's all I choose to believe.
Okay. In a few seconds, I'll tell you what the real reason is.
Should we play the next on Lost?
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's.
I don't care.
I don't know. I feel like that's boring because don't people hear that anyway when they?
Yeah, I mean you can go watch it, which is better than listening to it.
All right, so we won't play it. We'll save you the trouble. And if you haven't heard it or seen it, we're sorry. And if you have, then you're probably thanking us.
Exactly. Lost links, guys. Lost
links. And also lost-media.com.
Yeah, that's
if you want a downloadable version.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's nice.
It's nice.
The streaming video may not work for everyone, although I've never had a problem.
Well, you're not everyone.
I'm not everyone. Very true. Very true.
So let's talk about the next episode, The Cost of Living.
Yes.
Which can't really imagine what that title is going to mean. It costs $50 island dollars per night in the cage, and you've been there 5 nights. Oh, that'd be weird. Maybe that's why they're working. They're working off their hotel fee.
Oh, okay. It's just like when you go to a restaurant, you can't pay the check, so they put you in the kitchen.
They put you to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The trouble is they're making them stay there, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Hotel California.
You can't leave.
Check in and
Okay. Anyway, in the next on, we there's a lot going on.
Indeed.
Besides, what did they say this time? The island's pissed.
Yeah, something like that. The island's here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and it's all out of gum.
Yeah. It's gonna kick ass and take names. It was really weird. They gave the island its own personality. It's like, this island is here to kill Ben, or it was so weird.
It is weird. I forgot about that. It's yeah, I don't know. I guess
it seemed like the island is pissed. I can understand from the island's perspective. You just sitting back and watching these lowly humans run around and do all this crazy stuff, and the island's like, enough of this crap. I'm coming in and taking charge.
Yeah, that's weird. I hope that actually means something.
I really don't think it will.
I don't either.
Because it was the American preview, and the American preview is usually wrong. It likes to lie to people.
It does, and make it seem like ooh man, it's going to be an action-packed extravaganza every week.
Exactly.
It's a Sun and Jin flashback, and it's somehow an action extravaganza.
Exactly. Oh no, the glass ballerina. Oh no. And it's like, oh, that? Okay, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, son, there's a gun in the boat.
She's got a gun and she's not afraid to use it. Oh, wait, she is.
Yeah, so, it probably is misleading. We don't have a Canadian preview to watch yet.
No.
So, I feel like that one will give a better idea of what it's really going to be like. So, and it was definitely true of this episode.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the big things that we saw in the preview.
Okay.
One of the things that I've been wanting to mention just quickly. Oh wait, we still had some stuff to talk about with Sawyer and Ben at the end of the episode.
Well, I felt like we sort of talked about the two islands, and is there more?
I guess we did. Well,
I didn't really have anything more to.
I just wanted to quickly say, I didn't like that line. Ben is like, you're a good con man, Sawyer, but we're better.
Yeah.
I hated that line because I didn't really feel like they were necessarily better. I mean, they did best him in this situation, but I just didn't like that line. We're better, and I wonder, how do they know he's a con man? Like, just from like his whatever file they got on him, or
criminal record.
So but see, that's the thing. I feel like his best cons are the ones he hadn't gotten caught for. Like the crappy ones are the ones he's gotten caught for. I would think, because if he did a good job, then he shouldn't have gotten caught.
Good point.
Never arrested or charged or anything like that. But quick question. Sorry to have a huge tangent. Did we ever figure out why he was arrested in Australia? Remember that scene when Boone is at the police station?
Yeah, they showed it. He was arrested because I think I don't remember. I think he was like in a bar fight.
Okay.
That like we didn't see.
That sounds familiar. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we didn't see it though, right? They just sort of alluded to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to this episode. I thought it was weird that he waited until they were like almost to the top of the cliff to show him the bunny. I'm like, wow, you walked all that way with that rabbit in your little satchel. It just seemed really weird. And then he just seemed like a magician. Like,
Yeah.
he pulled out a rabbit, and then when he put it back in, I swear I thought he was gonna make it disappear. I swear.
Yeah, I agree. It seemed really bizarre.
It seemed like he was gonna make it disappear.
Yeah.
And I love when Sawyer was like, "How do I know you didn't just paint an 8 on another rabbit?" He's like, "Well, you don't."
Yeah.
Because he doesn't.
No. He doesn't. I believe him though.
Man, rabbits are scary.
Yeah.
Why do they have red eyes?
It's those. Yeah. I don't think all rabbits do.
No, I don't think all of them do. But
I think maybe it was like an albino rabbit.
Oh, there's white rabbits.
But the red eyes.
Oh. I've seen other rabbits with red eyes, but maybe.
Just a wild guess.
Yeah, but that was scary, man. They should never have red eyes.
It was a creepy rabbit. That helped make that scene where he's shaking it scary.
Yeah, no, that was really
because the rabbit already looks scary, and then it starts
Yeah,
bubbling.
if it was like a chihuahua, it would have been a totally different scene.
Oh God. Ugh.
I guess it still would have creeped you out.
Well, more like, ugh. I don't know. Gross.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anyone shake a chihuahua.
But rabbits are okay.
Well, okay. Anyway.
Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say about the end of that. I do
Okay.
like the fact that we find out where the Hydra station is, and I think we talked about that before when we were talking about how if part of the Hydra station is underwater,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for it to sort of be on the island, because it would sort of need to be offshore.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still not quite sure where the Hydra is on this new island.
It's not clear.
It's not exactly clear, but it's not that big of an island. Twice the size of Alcatraz isn't that big.
No.
So, yeah, I'm glad we know where they are now. It makes it clear that they're fairly far from their commune place, O-Town, if you will.
Right.
So anyway, I guess that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, I agree with you about the line. I mean, I sort of like the line, but when you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. It was very arrogant. But...
Yeah, it was very arrogant, and I'm like, I don't feel like he had the... It was just sort of an inaccurate thing to say. Like, you pull one con... And that's the other thing. I was thinking to myself, okay, they pull one con on Sawyer, and they think they're better than he is, or whatever, or just sort of really good in general. And now it makes me think he's sort of referring to other things.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like he's not referring to just that.
Yeah.
That somehow maybe them dressing up and stuff is part of that.
Yeah, which I would agree. If he's, in terms of everything they've done, they're fairly good con artists.
Yeah.
Why they need to be con artists, I don't know.
They're extremely elaborate.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I swear, every time I look at Tom without his beard, I'm just like, oh, jeez.
I've gotten used to him without a beard. He's just old Tom now.
Where's Miss Clue? I
guess
guess she's with the kids.
I actually read that the actress who plays her was having like scheduling issues. She was doing something else, and that she just couldn't appear in these episodes. And so they're gonna write some explanation. They'll have her back eventually.
Oh yay!
But but she just basically wasn't available. That's the only reason she's
too busy for Lost.
Yeah, apparently.
What is she doing?
I mean, she wasn't a major character or anything, so they just couldn't get her.
So okay, we're talking about the next episode, the cost of living, and the thing I wanted to bring up was now that we know that they're on a separate island, where is this search party going to go? The rescue party?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I did read a description.
Okay, let's read it
for this episode.
Let's hear it.
I'm sorry I said that because now I have to find it.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Stall.
Oh, okay. Hey guys out there in TV land, did you know? Okay, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Oh, I really was hoping you'd have something there.
No, I'm not that good.
Oh, you sell yourself short. Let's see here. Oh, I almost have it. I'm seconds away.
Okay, now you're really stalling.
No, really, I'm so close. Here it is. Oof. Okay. God, that's really tough. Okay. Here's a description.
Okay.
A delirious echo wrestles with past demons. Some of the castaways go to the Pearl Station to find a computer they can use to locate Jack, Kate, and Sawyer. Jack does not know who to trust when two of the others are at odds with each other.
I wonder which two.
I know, it couldn't be more obvious, I guess, but maybe it'll be somebody else.
Yeah, Colleen's back.
Yay! Well,
Is that the whole thing?
She's a bitch. Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting. First of all, the Echo past demons yawn. The second part with some of them going to the Pearl Station. Why do they think getting a computer can help them find where they are is beyond me.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll all make sense.
Yeah, right.
We need to go to the Pearl Station.
I do like the fact that they went to the Pearl Station.
I do too.
I think that's kind of cool. I know from the preview it's Desmond and Locke and that new chick.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the end of the promo, when she sees one of the screens, she's like, "What's that?" or "Who is that?" And there's this guy, this really creepy guy with a patch over his eye, in one of the monitors, and he sort of covers. Oh my god, it was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I tried to freeze it to get a good glimpse of the guy to see if someone we've seen before.
Yeah.
He sort of looks like Henry. I don't think it's Henry, but
I don't
just
either.
Facially, really quick, I just sort of, that sort of like triangle kind of face. Just sort of seemed like Henry to me, but I don't think it's him.
I agree.
If I had to venture a guess, if it's someone that we sort of should know or have heard of, I'm going to say Rosinski.
Yeah, that's a good guess. I would also throw out possibly Glass Eye Guy.
Ooh! Who may or may not be Rosinski.
Who may or may not be Rosinski, exactly. So.
Wow, I cannot believe that the glass... Because we just talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I think we talked about that in our Season 2 retrospective.
We did, that no one's heard.
Which no one has heard yet, but once we put it out during this Season 3 break, people are going to be like, they just talked about that.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you guys know? Because they have this and then... Yeah.
Yeah, just to catch people up, during, what was it, the other 48 days?
Yeah.
In Season 2.
Actually, I don't think it was. I think it was actually before the other 48 days, because it was when Michael and...
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's before the other 48 days, when we first see the arrow hatch, and, I think it's the other 48 days when when the tail section people actually find it, that's when they first find them.
Oh, when Goodwin's there. You're right. It is under 48 days.
Yeah, because that's when
they went there
Goodwin's
twice, and I was thinking of the second time.
Yeah, that's before Michael and them show up.
Yeah, which was actually the first time they showed it, but
yeah,
the second time was when they
actually found the eye.
Yeah.
So basically, they open up this chest, they find the radio, they find the Bible, which of course has the clips of the original Pearl video. I'm sorry, Swan video, orientation video, and then it has this glass eye, and of course they say glass eye. What's that about? And Justin and I theorized what that was, and one of our theories was there's some guy running around with missing an eye.
Right.
And I totally forgot about that, but you're right. I mean, here's a guy with a patch over his right eye, and he seems like a perfect candidate.
Yeah, I mean...
Now, one of our questions was, does he have another eye? Like, why is this eye there? Like, did he lose it?
Right.
Did he just take it out? And I'm really, if this turns out to be the same guy, which if it's not, I'm going to be really surprised. But I'm so happy that they actually are going to explain something as minute as the glass eye that was almost, it was almost this time last season, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe, and I think if they do that, then they have the possibility of explaining any little detail ever.
Yeah.
Because that is such a small thing that they never talked about since.
Yeah.
And now it seems like we're going to get some sort of explanation about this glass eye.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I think it bodes well for them. That's really cool that they would actually do that.
Yeah.
I sort of hope it's Rosinski, though.
Yeah, maybe it can be both somehow.
Yeah, I feel like it could be both.
I mean, I don't, like, what is the video of? Like, where is that supposed to be?
Yeah, now, in that shot, before you see the guy, you see, like, computer equipment.
Yeah.
And my first thought, because I have wild thoughts, was that it was the Swan station
right
before it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was sort of... we were getting a feed from the past, which was stupid. But
somehow.
Or maybe it's an old tape.
Maybe it was recorded or something.
Maybe it was recorded. But it didn't exactly look like the Swan computer. Like, because, there's a computer where you sit down and there's the sort of tape recorder stuff in the back against the wall.
Yeah.
And that's what you sort of see as big computer mainframes like that. But it didn't look exactly the same. But I don't know where else it could be. Presumably, the Pearl was supposed to be watching the Swan station. So that's really where the camera should be. So I'm going to go ahead and venture to guess that it's an old video.
And I'd also point out that they destroyed that hatch set. They don't have it anymore. So it's possible, they rebuilt whatever for that. Okay. And so that's why it doesn't look quite right.
Well, they wouldn't. They would still have the props, right? I mean, they would have those. I mean, you don't, like, burn those and destroy them.
I guess I imagine they just, like, set it all ablaze.
Yeah, I would imagine that stuff would go in some studio, prop station or where, you shouldn't throw stuff.
Maybe they gave them to charity.
Oh, okay. So if you live in LA or something, you can go and find that stuff at your local Salvation Army.
Maybe Hawaii. Yeah.
Do they film everything in Hawaii?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Well, good for them, because Hawaii's nice.
Yeah, I was amazed some of the stuff, like some of the locations. There's actually a page out there that shows a bunch of the locations that they've used. And it's just really crazy. It's like, oh yeah, that's where the others got Michael or whatever. And it's weird to see, like, there's a road, like, 20 feet away.
It seems like they're deep in the jungle and they're right next to Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's really disconcerting. Like, there was a beach shot, and yeah, you just see this road, like, right. It's just like, wow, it just takes you out of the show.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, they showed, like, some of the places where they shoot, like, the Korean stuff. Like, there's these random places that just sort of look like they might be Korea.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, yeah, it's really weird. But
that's like when I saw that behind the scenes production photo of Henry's balloon, and before we actually see the balloon, and it just totally took me out of it. I'm like, wow, and there was like a set guy there, some guy was standing in the shot. I'm like, wow, this is a TV show. It just like depresses me. I'm like, like, oh wow, that's really obvious how they got it up there, and it's just so normal.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You really to enjoy the show, you really have to buy into it.
Yeah.
And believe that they really are trapped on an island. They're not in Hawaii.
Exactly. I mean, when I see Jack, I'm like, he looks like that actor who was on Party at 5. Well, I bet Jack Shepherd gets that all the time.
Yeah.
I just believe, I want to believe he just looks like Matthew Fox.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The other big thing in the next on, what was the other big thing? You don't see too much of what's going on with Echo. They show him a couple times, and there's some scene where it looks like he gets almost hit with a knife in the head.
Yeah, and there's a scene where he's sort of forcefully like pushing Locke up against a tree.
Yeah, there's something going on with that. Maybe Locke wants Echo to come with them, or because Echo's the one who helped him find it.
Yeah,
and Echo's like, no, I got to go deal with my past demons.
My past demons. Yeah, my understanding is that this is going to be an Echo flashback episode.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense as far as the past demons.
I would love if we find some more out about Claire's psychic and that whole thing. I mean, I don't think
that'd be nice.
I don't think they'll talk about that, but I'd love to figure out, if the girl really died or not and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
be nice.
I agree. That would be nice.
They won't do it.
No, they won't. They won't do that. Sadly, I'm ready for the first interesting flashback. That hasn't really happened yet. Because it seems like the flashbacks are few and far between that are sort of relevant to the island mysteries.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of those rare ones.
Hasn't Echo already wrestled with his past demons?
Oh, but he's got to wrestle some more.
Oh, jeez. How many demons do you got, man?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
you know what? I bet this one's going to be... We're going to find out how he got to Australia, I bet.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's the gap.
Yeah, that's the gap.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, they wrestle with the demons when they need to, and then they sit in the background when they don't.
Yeah.
So it's you're probably right. It'll somehow bridge that time when he started pretending to be a priest and.
But in his heart, he was always a priest.
But in his heart, yes, you are a priest, Echo, and. You're a good man.
And a farmer.
God.
What else was in the thing? I don't remember. I think that's it. That's
not
stuff.
much. Saeed's gonna do something. I saw him in there.
Yay! I miss Saeed doing stuff because what he's done so far this season, I'm like, yawn.
One really bad plan.
Yeah.
I see Pickett with a pickaxe and Sawyer, and then little Juliet, little Jack. Ben and the tumor.
Yeah, well, so the third part of that whole synopsis was Jack doesn't know who to trust when what is it? Two of the others start arguing or something?
When two of the others are at odds with each other.
Yeah, I wonder who could it be?
Yeah, we should spend like an hour theorizing on that.
We should. Okay, I think it is the dead ghost of... No, I don't know. I was going to say Ethan.
Oh.
And why the ghost is dead, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. It's the
the dead ghost. So the ghost died.
The ghost died, and then it returned.
It returned, and now it's the dead ghost.
It's a zombie ghost.
It is a dead zombie ghost. That's a little redundant a couple times over.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I mean, it's gotta be, maybe it's Pickett and...
Pickett and Tom.
And Tom.
He's like, grow your beard back. No! Grow it back. No!
Oh, that's really crappy.
Yeah.
And Jack, I don't know who to trust.
And then he just says, fine, and gets a fake beard and puts it on his face. You happy now? He's like, I don't know who to trust. He looks good with the beard and without. All right. I guess that's it for the next on Lost. Now, do you have any spoiler or recap of the official Lost podcast?
Yes, I do. My recap of the official My recap of the official Lost podcast is that there was no official Lost podcast this week. Damon and Carlton took the week off for whatever reason. It said they were busy.
Maybe they had to take the week off to have lunch with Cliff.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think anyone's gonna get that.
Yeah, well,
Can
even
you-
if they do,
Can you edit that out?
no.
Nice.
No, I think some people will get it. Lots of people listen to that thing.
Well, did he say that to everybody?
He was on the show. I listened to it. He did what he did in that email is exactly what he did on the show.
Oh.
And the lead-in was to he basically patched together quotes from Damon and Carlton podcast with his questions.
Uh-huh.
That was the interview.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it was like, so what do you think about blah blah blah? Yes, I agree, Damon. Like it was,
Interesting.
It was ridiculous.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it was a couple episodes ago, generally speaking, if you want to know.
I guess some people like to be conned.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't.
He was really it was some sort of weird prank or con that he was playing on all of us.
Nice.
Listeners.
Well, we play a con too. We pretend our show is good and we liked it and okay, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Okay, I was gonna say, but isn't it good?
Yeah, I know that was a punchline. It's not a con.
Oh, okay.
We
I was
don't
gonna
con
say
people.
it's working on me because I actually thought it was good.
Oh, you may be a good con man, Sawyer. We're better.
We're better. Look away and be smug.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to walk around all the time with a rabbit in my satchel.
I agree, especially bat rabbit.
Especially that rabbit.
It's gonna start growing in your bag.
It is. That was so weird when he was shaking it. Hey, come on.
Yeah. You know what? I have to mark that. That was a scene that I haven't seen before. That was a new one.
In
for
the
me.
show or ever?
Just in general. That was a new thing. I've never seen a scene like that before.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. That was pretty weird.
Every now and then I see something like, wow, that's a new one. I've never seen. I mean, I've seen things that are vaguely similar, but that just shaking a bunny's cage until it collapses, like that's just really weird.
And I don't understand how they could have timed the collapse.
I agree, exactly. How could you?
How could you? Unless you did it before and you knew it took a certain amount of time, and then. But it seemed like it didn't like slump down. It like keeled over.
Yeah.
It didn't like sort of fall asleep. It seemed like it just stopped.
It didn't seem like a sedative at all.
Yeah, I felt like he was lying.
I do too, but I don't think he was.
I just felt like he was lying in different versions and like this. He was lying about this, but not about that, and he was telling the truth about this, and like, yeah, I couldn't tell. Or maybe he just really killed the bunny. And then he just had a new bunny painted 8 on.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. I don't think that's true, but it's unrealistic. But of course, it plays much better if like the bunny isn't already passed out when he's doing the demonstration.
Yeah.
So or isn't like just groggy and like laying there.
Oh.
So it doesn't care. I mean, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe they just knew they knew exactly when it would kick in, and that doesn't make any sense. Anyway,
unless they did it before, they put the bunny to sleep and they timed it from when he got the injection. That's the only thing I can imagine how they could sort of know how long it was going to take.
Yeah. But I have to say, I really like this scene, and so I barely care if it's realistic.
Oh, exactly. It doesn't really matter how they did it.
I guess I care more when the scenes are bad.
Yeah.
Because it was just really, really creepy.
I swear, I thought it was gonna like either explode or like mutate into some crazy creature.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be a monster bunny, and
it's gonna turn into a Smokey.
Yeah, oh god, wow, I'm gonna be afraid tonight. I have to say.
Well, be scared of the patch eye guy.
That guy too. Yikes! I thought he was an alien for half a second.
Oh, you can't be... Yeah, that's the thing, Lost. If you put an alien on your show, you're going to be sci-fi, hardcore sci-fi.
Yep, that'd be the end of walking the line.
Yeah, you can't have an alien in there.
That would be... And if it were actually an alien, I don't know. I don't think I would like that, but I thought it was for half a second until I sort of looked at it closely. So,
Well, the next episode seems like it's going to be actually pretty interesting. I mean, most Echo flashbacks are pretty good.
I agree.
And it seems like the main story is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, both Echo flashbacks were good, and the main story, it looks like stuff's going to happen. They're going to go to Pearl, they're going to see some video, so there's stuff to look forward to. And the new bitch is going to be along.
Yeah, I know. The cost of living, I wonder, I bet that's only referring to Echo's flashback.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I like that.
This is what it costs to live.
It costs 50 Nigerian dollars.
Naira.
Was it Naira?
Yeah, I remember Locke saying that. Looks like Nigerian Naira.
No, because when you work on a on a weed growing farm, you pay everyone in Nigerian Naira.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because it's not as easy to trace.
Exactly.
So.
Although it does stand out.
Well. Think you've foiled their plans.
We should rethink this plan.
Single-handedly.
Alrighty, well, I think we're
obviously
done.
rambling at this point.
Yeah, we're done, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Another sort of short one.
Another fairly short one. I think next episode will probably, I think we'll break that 3-hour mark.
I did like this episode better. It
was definitely better than what was the last one?
Further Instructions.
Oh god. What a good title that went to waste.
Exactly. That title deserves a good episode.
It really does.
But I guess there was just about the same amount of stuff to talk about, but it was just more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Now this was pretty good. The premiere was the best.
Yeah.
Episode 2 was pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say this is on par with the second one.
Yeah. About the same. Further
Ballerina.
Instructions is way down there.
Yeah, so far it's pretty down.
That's
pretty
the episode to try to.
It's on there. It's on there with up there with Fire plus Water.
Yeah. Whole Truth, SOS.
Or Boring plus Boring.
The standard. Boring plus Boring. Oh god, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad. I think episode like 16 or 17, when they start getting boring, that's when they'll have the chance to sort of beat this one.
Yeah.
Or that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't. Oh man, we're gonna have such a long break.
I know, it's gonna be like another summer. Basically.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be like, oh, Lost. I forgot about that show.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have to podcast every week.
Can you imagine
weeks.
the previously on Lost on that one? It's gonna be long. It's gonna be have to cover everything in 6 episodes.
Oh god!
Because people are gonna forget.
I noticed this was one of the first previously on Lost that pretty much just included like stuff from this season.
Oh yeah.
Every other one, it was like lots of old previous season stuff. So it seems like they're finally sort of out from under the
previous season.
The shadow of season 2. So it's all uphill from there, I'm sure.
I think so far this season might be better than season 2. It's shaping. If it goes where I hope it goes, it's at least starting off as good. I agree.
The beginning of season 2 wasn't spectacular.
Yeah.
I think the high point, definitely Other 48 Days.
Yeah, once the telesexual people come in, that's when it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that episode was really good,
and
it's still good to watch, and I think they'll be hard-pressed to beat that. But yeah, I agree. So far, the beginning is better.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
if they can maintain it, who knows?
That's a good sign. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll see. We will see.
Well, that's it for us at the Lost Lowdown, guys. We appreciate you listening as always. The website, thelostlowdown.blogspot.com. Gmail us at lostlowdown@gmail.com. No the. Just I think that's
join
it.
the Frapper Map.
Join the Frapper Map.
Give us some comments.
Comments on the site. We appreciate them.
A review on iTunes wouldn't hurt.
Hey.
If you haven't written one yet.
Review us on iTunes. We're trying to get our average star rating up.
Yes.
And
we got one really bad review, and it's bringing us down.
Angie Q.
Yes, Angie Q.
If we ever find her, we're gonna.
I have a feeling Angie Q's a big fan now.
You think so?
I just feel like she is. I feel like once she gave us a chance,
That's the thing. You got to give us a chance.
Realized we weren't as annoying as we first seemed.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were pretty annoying when I first met you, so
Good point.
you know, you just gotta give it a chance.
Indeed.
And drugs and alcohol help.
Yes, those two.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Thank
it.
you from me too, because I never get to say thank you.
You don't, but I thank for the both of us.
I just say good luck.
You do. Well, how about we switch it?
Ooh.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay, I was gonna say that's gonna throw off my whole.
It's gonna rock some worlds out there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Up
Wow.
is down and down is up. Claude and Justin switch their sign off.
And you know, our ending is starting to seem irrelevant to me, but maybe it won't.
What do you mean irrelevant?
Just because it seems to be very season 2.
Oh, should we come up with a new? No, maybe we should come up with a new ending for maybe we should have an ending per season.
Yeah, maybe we can do that.
Okay, how about
Oh boy, we're gonna come up with it now.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks and Scary Rabbit.
Uh,
Okay, no, that is not good.
Excellent podcast, Justin. Thank you, Claude.
Yeah, we should do. I was like, Justin, you're a good podcaster, but I'm a lot better. The end.
Oh God. Oh, God.
Do you love this podcast?
Yes, I love it.
Oh.
Oh.
How about Live Together Podcast Alone?
Well, see, that's.
I like that. Like, I'll say Live Together and you can say Podcast Alone.
No.
Is that too crappy?
It's season 2, man.
Oh, but they said it this. Okay,
It's
how
season
about,
1 too. God, that's really old shit.
how about Every Man for Their Podcast? No.
No.
Okay.
I think we can just stick with it for now
Oh,
until we come up with something better. I don't think we're gonna do it now. I don't think there's a clear thing to do yet. I really don't. I don't think we have a good. I mean, the other one was just perfect because it was a sign off for an orientation video.
Yeah.
You know, and we just don't have an equivalent this season.
Well, we'll get something. We'll get something something new. We gotta get it quick because this is the 4th episode this season. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, we'll use the same old boring sign off.
Give us suggestions if you have any. Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. If anybody out there,
We
has
may not
suggestions.
use them, but we'd like to hear them anyway.
and laugh at them. So thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.